Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon, you will know. The children crying for stop.
A special one from the CEO, stand coming with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the South Band. Charges on the beat.
To the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon, you will know. The children crying for starvation. Just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moreover, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what's happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Funjama, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat kebab, congratulate my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. To spoon.
Hello and welcome to the program Spoon Talk tonight, fellow Liberians. It doesn't matter where you are. Welcome. And let me say good evening to Jeans Gude Flomo, who is currently in Poland. And it promises to be very much fascinating tonight on this identical platform. My name is Baron Brown. I'm here tonight. Good evening, Jeans.
Good evening, Chairman Baron Brown. What is it?
Yeah, go ahead. We are trying to make some, we are trying to make a that's some adjustment in the studio.
Go ahead.
Okay, all right. It's okay now.
I'm good.
Yes, you are okay.
All right. Again, let me say good evening to the most talk about. All right, folks.
Go ahead, please. Go ahead, please.
All right. Well, folks, if you're just joining us, we want to welcome you. That this is Spoon Talk, and tonight is going to be one of the most interesting show. And we are nearing 20. That is October 10, presidential and general elections. We are nearing that period. So those who are, around, or those who want to represent you and I at the executive mansion will be quizzed, and one of them will be on tonight to talk more about his platform. He was here the last time, and he's coming back tonight to continue with where, part of the information came from, why he wants to be president, why he's so different than the current guy, or those who are, or those who are expected to contest alongside him, why he's better than them. The team will be here to quiz him on these things and so many questions that will come out that will give you informed, information in order to either vote for him or kick him on the side. Baron, are you okay now?
Well, yes, I'm okay.
Okay. So I was just holding the ground. I was holding it until you turn up. So good evening and welcome, Chairman. You are the most talked about young man currently in the Republic of Liberia. We are here hearing about you, and people are now trying to, compare you to the bourgeois of our town. They are now comparing you to them. Yesterday, you and I we used to be part of the masses, but today you're going a little bit ahead of me. You are now a bourgeois. You are no longer part of the masses, and that's life. People have to make progress. You're not going to be static forever, and I'm happy for you that progress came so soon. I hope you just manage the money. You should not eat the money so fast. Don't sell it for smoked fish. That's all I wanted to say. Welcome again.
Sometimes God speaks to people, and I think all these great words are ordination, or they have been ordained by God for you to look at me as a money man, as a bourgeois. I think yes, I accept it, because I'm not going to sit on this platform to refer to myself as a poor man. No. And all of our friends who are monitoring us, who are listening via radio, should always have that explicit confidence in themselves. Never, ever, no matter your situation, never look down upon yourself. Don't do that. It's called self-believability. But again, that's just the fun aspect of the show, as we're with the rest of the panelists to be on this show this evening. But yes, I agree. And I accept that. You are muted.
I'm sorry. Success begin with you believing in yourself. If
That's
you
it.
cannot believe in what you're doing, and if you cannot keep pushing and thinking about yourself, then it means that you are on your way to defeat. Because you have to believe in what you're going to target. That's the only way you will defeat that and conquer to become one of the most talked about. People who are at the top there, like Dr. Moniba, you ask him, he's going to tell you his story. He started from a very I'm sure he started from a struggling background before getting to where he is. There's no easy route to success. Even if your father a rich man, your papa through something.
Our man, I know a strong man. I begin asking what they call, I know, bourgeois.
Oh, I know bourgeois. I need that man. He know what to call bourgeois.
It's the way you are pronouncing it. So they may ask you, jeans.
You know, man. You know, bro, when we say bourgeois, we know what we're talking about. You know, man.
Yeah. Well, we have to check this, or you have to check this spelling.
But begin, what's up?
I'm okay. Oh.
Now you the call gonna begin. Okay, bro. Gonna begin. When in Liberia, when we pronounce it that way to say you are a bourgeois, now it means you are knocking glasses with those who are the top. So, Baron.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. When you set up, then we will. No, go ahead. Get everything set up, then we will continue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
when everything is okay, just let me know.
I'm trying.
All right, folks. If you just joined, the team is getting ready to come on tonight. The entire team is expected to grace this platform because they are going to be talking to a presidential aspirant, an individual who wants to represent the people of Liberia, who wants to, become president of this country. He says that Weah is not the right man to lead Liberia. After 6 years or almost 6 years, Weah needs to give way, and the only way Liberian people will see prosperity is through him. So tonight, he's going to be telling you exactly why only him can bring, transformation into this country. We saw President Weah, or we are still seeing President Weah about 6 years now. He's been there. There have been some rock and roll, but we have many people coming. Some will come and say, I'm the Messiah. Some will tell you, I'm the Muhammad. I will do this, I will do that. But again, we need to look at them and examine them, re-examine them before getting to October 10th. So let's see, when Baron is ready, Baron will give us update from Liberia. And after that update, we will be around here awaiting the entire crew to join us. Remember that Dr. Richardson just returned from Liberia So she needs to rest. You know, she's always here. She's always here in time, but you can travel that long distance. Most especially female, they need to rest, recalibrate, and get everything set up. You know, she's strong. She's very strong. To just arrive in the U.S. that very day, you come on the show and continue. Hey,
Who's that?
when
That the richest in?
yeah, when people do that, sometimes they get weak, but she's extraordinary. Yeah, Baron, welcome. I've been waiting for you. So, what are some of the training development from Liberia?
Well, I think I'm going to repeat this if the rest of the panelists come on. You know, the most training
Yeah,
news.
let's just continue. They will join us later. We can't wait for them.
Yeah, the most trending news in this country, number one, there's a Diamond Creek that's been operated or owned by a lady in Wapuru County by the name Manfatu Double. And a few days ago, a guy by the name J. Arrow. Jeans, are you getting me? Yeah, one J. Arrow in Wapuru County.
Junior?
Yeah, J. Arrow. You know, when we say J. Arrow in Liberia, meaning junior, right? And he formed a diamond that worth $2.7 million. Yes, $2.7 million. I have been running with this story, other media institutions. And what happened is that when JR or Junior formed this identical diamond, he turned this identical diamond over to one, what's the name of the guy? One officer, Koke, in
Officer,
Bapuru County.
DEA officer or LMP?
Yeah, I mean, he works at the Ministry, let's say Lands and Mines. Yeah, or Mines and Energy. I know one of them, I think they have changed that. So what happened is that he turned the diamond over.
Yeah, I'm hearing you, Baron.
Yes, and later on, when he turned the diamond over, the guy who discovered the diamond, he turned the diamond over, and later on, they brought the diamond to Morovia. But what is happening today at the Ministry of Mines and Energy is that this diamond, I got a cogent information that they are attempting, the Minister of Mines and Energy, allegedly, tonight, they are going to turn this diamond over to a Lebanese guy. They are going to smoke this identical, diamond out of the country. So,
well, last time I'm coming.
And the police officer, there's a police guy who was investigating this identical case. We are getting information that they pushed this guy out of the case. I have pictures, I have videos to prove this. Imagine $2.7 million diamond. They are trying to take it out of this country to dupe the Liberian government, few individuals at the Ministry of Mines and Energy, or Ministry of Mines and Energy, I think one of them, So it is being said that one Emmanuel S. Swain, I don't know this guy. I think they said he's an assistant minister.
I know Emmanuel Swain.
Yeah, he's an assistant minister. This guy, he's one of the people who is behind this identical diamond issue. So the entire thing here is many Liberians are calling on President George at the NFC to look into this matter. They are also calling on the American government to also look into this matter, because you cannot dupe the Liberian people. If an individual discover a diamond, for Christ's sake, it is for the country.
Well, Baron, let me interrupt you a bit. The last time I heard about that diamond, they said the person was in missing action or MIA. The person MIA.
Yeah, so that's what we are hearing.
The guy now.
Yeah. So the guy who found the diamond, the man I know MIA, I think missing action, right? Something like that.
He say MIA.
Yeah, MIA. But the thing here is, certain individuals at that ministry.
No, they are trying to. Wait, Baron. 1 minute. The person who found the diamond, they are MIA.
Yeah, missing action.
Yeah, then how they got the diamond? If the person who found the diamond is MIA.
Yeah, the thing here is, the person who found the diamond, the guard in question, is that they compensated him not to come up publicly. Are you getting my point?
Yeah.
Not to come up publicly. So the thing here is, the mayor is no longer around the GRO guy, but the government, the diamond belongs to the government.
So wait, Akame,
Yeah.
he got this diamond
Mhm.
and they give him token to turn the
Yes.
diamond over. And
Thank
then
you.
those who got the diamond, allegedly they took the diamond to Les and Mans.
Yes.
And then the information now coming from Les and Mans says somebody there wants to leave the country with the diamond.
That's it.
Allegedly, Minister Emmanuel Titi Swen, that's his
Swen.
full name. Yeah.
Mhm.
Allegedly, Minister Emmanuel Titi Swen, rather,
Swen.
and,
One Swen.
and others want to leave with the diamond. That's the information.
Yeah, that's the information. And there's a guy called Gotolo. One Gotolo.
But have you reached out to Lesemans? Have you called Swen?
Well, we call him, but I'm told that he's out of the country.
Swen is
He's
out of the country.
Yes,
Let me see if I can get the Swen now.
Yes. So let us get to this.
While the show is going on, I'll try to get the Swen regarding it.
But other media institutions are running with this diamond story.
Okay.
Look, James, man, for Christ's sake, this is unfair to the Liberian people. I can remember that was in 2016. God discovered a diamond in Sierra Leone, $27 million. You know what the Sierra Leone government did for that guy? He was giving, $2 million.
But well, I'm coming. I don't know much about it. I'm sorry. I'm novice when it comes to this diamond issue. Is it that the government will collect revenue on this diamond, or 100% is for the government? I'm sorry. I'm novice to it. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm missing something up. Is it that the 2.7 million will go to the government, or the government will take taxes out and give the money to those who have it?
But around the world.
Okay, the minister coming on. A very seasoned Liberian former minister would take us through. I'm novice to it. That is what I'm asking that question.
Minister Fagon, good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm okay.
Well, I was just in the back listening to you guys. Give me the estimated value again of the diamond.
2.7 million United States dollars.
Approximately 2.7.
Approximately.
What's the carat?
35.3. That's what I'm looking at here.
For me,
35 is more than that.
My head big, but not to that side. I know about it.
Here is, I listened to you in Good Day, and I was listening for a good reason. You talk about Kotolo. Kotolo is like the director of mines. And then you talk about Titi Swen. Titi Swen is not even a deputy minister. He's an assistant.
Assistant minister.
Assistant, yeah.
And the fact that you guys are calling these names and the individuals have been identified, even 5 years from now, the government will still prosecute them anytime they lay hands on them. There's certain mineral, if you find in, you have different grades of mining. You have alluvial mining, you have different kinds. You got the one they do with a BB machine, the one they put, they go down to the creek, hustle the jig, and then they find point, they go racket on the mines, and they get the money. But whenever there is no claim laid to a mining area, and a particular diamond is found in the tune of that amount, you have to, hold on just a second. So you have to report it.
Yeah.
Now, even on your own claim, your own place, it's not even for the government. You found a diamond worth $40 million. James, you know you're Messiah.
Okay, he's back.
You found $40 million. You have to report it because it's based on the amount that government is able to calculate how on the revenue and to keep track of the particular mining claim that produced that diamonds with the hope of data entry. But again, everybody believes that Liberia is so corrupt, you don't need to bother yourself. You know, nothing will happen. That time you're talking about a serious crime. If that diamond disappears, all the hands it went through, the diamond will be traced. People will go to jail for a long time. But I was not here from the beginning. So we say, the diamond story.
Yeah, so I was asking, right? Anyway, you answer. You say you have to report it to the government. So it means
your own diamond mine, your own thing, you have to report it.
So meaning all the money there for government, or government will give you some?
No. You got some there.
You got some.
But let's say that place, nobody own it. What gets into me, they say Lebanese men all were involved.
Yeah.
They think if you are a real nationalist like me, they think it made you want cry. Lebanese men, what are you doing with what diamond? Why are you even doing close to ASAP? I mean,
so I think by now, Ministry of Lands and Mines should issue a statement. That is what you do in order to not be on the defensive. By now, the Ministry of Lands and Mines should come up with a quick statement. In public relations, you do it. You come up with a quick statement informing the nation about the diamond allegation that is coming, or whether you are in the know or not, because you don't want to be coming to defend, to say, no, I'm reacting to this story. It's terrible in public relations. It breaks you down to the extent people may not believe you. So I think they should do it. Call for a press conference, or just write a statement and issue it to media institutions and influencers online. Let them run with it. And yeah, we can go with it, because PR, if you come to defend, is terrible. The public because the public, not just Liberia, the public most especially will believe what they see first. Yeah. So Barrow, what are some of the other updates?
Okay, wait. Let me get some information coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let's put the information this way.
Yeah.
We cannot independently confirm the information.
Yeah, that's what we said allegedly.
Yeah.
You got to see information?
I thought you were talking about the diamond information.
Are you talking about the diamond issue?
That's the diamond information.
Oh, okay, yeah. We said allegedly.
Allegedly owned by the lady called Manfatu Doba.
Yeah, Manfatu Doba.
Yeah.
Okay. And the guy who Officer Coker.
Mm-hmm.
Did you announce that name?
Yeah, Gion, the guy who works there, he turned the diamond over to Officer Coker.
Okay, and Coker turned the diamond over to Amara Kamara, right?
Yes, Amara Kamara.
Deputy
head of Diamond Brokers Association.
And when they brought the diamond to town, they gave it to Emmanuel T. Swain.
Yes.
And then T.T. Swain is alleged to have sold the diamond to a Lebanese guy for $300,000.
Yes.
300 what?
That the Lebanese guy allegedly bribed him with $300,000.
All right.
Yes.
And other deputy ministers and officials in the mines, in the mines and energy ministry are not happy with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go to
for security reason, will not show the activities, but we have them. We got video of officers chasing them and all.
That's it.
And yes, the family recorded the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Family in a meeting and all, you see the post saying I import chair. Oh my God, we got it all. We got it all. But we are expecting the guests. Who they don't be jealous. I got everything right here. You can see. The different video. You like get some, man. Why you let it out like get some?
You are muted, Goody.
Goody, why you want to like get some?
I said I'm trying to reach out to the minister to get his side.
Okay. So what we'll do, while you reaching out to him, the other guy number is also there too. Do you see his number? Coquette number is there.
Yeah.
So give Coquette number to Chairman Brian. Let's
I don't have it.
Huh?
I don't have it.
Brian, you got Coquette number?
Yes. My source gave me his number, but I missed one of the numbers, and I also placed that. But I'm trying to get it, and I'm going to send it to Jeans in less than 15 minutes.
All right.
Okay. Yes.
Oh, minister
So-
says you have it, you send it.
Yeah.
I got the
Yeah.
I don't have number. I'm trying to reach out to somebody.
All right. So any other news permeated the corridors of power around us?
Baron.
Well, I mean, basically, that's the only trending news from my end.
No information about Coons.
Yeah, ANC goes to convention very soon. I mean, in
And what
Nima
are you
County.
hearing?
I'm hearing that I cannot independently verify this, though, although I reached out to some people, but that I got an information that he wants to pick Councilor Charlie Bronsky as his running mate, and Senator Nyomdi Kanga Lawrence refused his stuff to go as running mate to him. So Mr. Cummings, he has accepted, or he has decided to take Councilor, Charlie Bronsky as his running mate. But I cannot independently verify this.
What about Dr. Moniba? I'm also hearing about him.
Oh, yeah, ain't getting no, what do you call it?
Wait, I get update.
You got what they call orbit?
I said I have update. I'm sorry, I don't know.
About what? I want Jim Kude to tell me the name of the machine that can be flying in the air. The small machine.
I'm cooking that the pepper giving me here.
So
No, it's clearing your sinuses.
Yeah. So the update I have, last night when you guys were doing the show, I broke this news about the 10 vehicles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that news is not getting serious. Get ready, Liberian. She get ready to get one of the toughest news that will hit the ANC about 3 of the guys who received the vehicle. When it came out, ANC people did not. Some people read it right, but they did not understand. Maybe they did not understand the main point in our read out. They thought that the group is an ANC group in Nima County. These are people who were part of, and some of them are still part of Senator Kun think tank. That way we get a Bwaka think tank, right? So during that time, when negotiations were going on, the former superintendent, who is currently with the ANC, directly with Mr. Ambassador Louis Brown, was the lead campaigner to encourage Senator Kun to come over. So in doing that, the think tank, they have more than 30 members. So those key officials, in order to convince them to show that Cummings is ready, Cummins went ahead, he bought used cars. They're not new cars, though. They are not new brand cars that he bought. He bought used cars for them, 10. And that car business, the car issues, even caused serious commotion.
You are muted. You are muted. Who's stopping you? Somebody say you bought for his secret?
Oh, I'm sorry. So I'm saying Cummins gave that 10 cars, 10 used cars to the group, not specifically to individuals, but to the group to convince them, because they were assigned with Jeremiah Kun, and some of them contributed to his election, and very close to Jeremiah Kun, like the way everybody get a red hand picking them. So they said that he trusted allies here. Cummins, you can use this means to bring them. So Cummins turned over those cars to them. And Cummins has not requested, or his team has not requested that they should turn the cars over, right? But 3 of the guys who received the cars, I said 10, but 3 persons already said their conscience cannot set them right because they will not support Cummins. And the purpose that the car was given to them for was not met. That was to bring Kun over, to encourage their boss to go over. So their conscience cannot set them right to be using the main car. So they are deciding to have a press conference to turn their cars over. But some of the other guys have not come out to say they will turn the cars over. But three people already confirmed. They reached out. Some of them reached out to me. They said we will be turning our cars over because our conscience cannot set us.
Why should they turn a gift over?
Because they are now they did not accomplish, they did not achieve what the cars were given to them for.
Then again,
I gave you them a phone. I said, bring me Baron Brown. Make sure that Baron Brown support me. And you fail to make Baron Brown support me. Your own conscience, you will say, oh, James, I did not achieve what doing.
James Fire, man, they call it car cato.
Our guest is still now.
Okay, yeah, we're smart. That's all they do. They call it car cato. If you get cato, there's no receipt. And when they carry the story, they leave on you. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, so these guys will be having, they will be having a press conference where they will declare they will redeclare their support to Jeremiah Kun because some of them left.
People that name Aquado, there's no way they will move from behind them, man. It's finished.
No,
the
but
only thing I can tell you this: until the people ask for the car, be using it here, you never know.
Cummins will not ask for that car. Cummins is too professional. His team is professional to ask for that car.
But you know, they get the people who took the 70,000, they will ask for the car.
Exactly 75,000 was used to buy the 10 vehicles. The guys were explaining the whole story, how it started. They will have a very lengthy press conference where they will explain from the start to the end. About 75,000 was used to buy the 10 vehicles.
For car cato. Now, let me explain what I'm hearing. You're not told your We'd like to welcome Isaac Tukpa Jr. to the show. I think a lot of people went to graduation and other businesses today. And it's good to have him. Somebody telling me, say, please dress closer to your microphone. Then please put your volume up too. Man. Put your volume up too now. Let me play out. Okay. But here is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that Charlene Bernstein is not interested. And I got a reason from my source as to why she says she is not interested. She is not interested because she'd rather be a representative. You know, this is her first time jumping into government. She wants to be tested, go through the ranks and files, representative, maybe senator, and then up the ladder. She said, no, you can't just take me from law school. I just graduated. You say I'm going to be vice president of you. But it's not a bad thing, she said. But when I look at the thing, with the confusion going on, it could hurt me in many ways. I can't lose twice. I am sure of winning in Paso. Let me win that one first. So she said, no way. Clarence Moniba is on the wait list. But I'm thankful he's in studio. He will break his own egg to scramble it. Whether you eat it with Lebanese bread or Fula bread or Fanti bread, that won't leave with him. Then James could they come out like you are talking to come back. Don't be staring the pot. And you, Chairman Brian, you gotta come back. You gotta help the guests in studio. You got to help the guests in studio settle before you move.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're ready, we will bring the guests in.
This is the breaking news for y'all.
Okay.
The ANC reached out to Henry Yala. Anybody know Henry Yala?
Senator Henry Yala?
Yes, I spoke with one of his team members who he told that he wanted to go with them to, how you call it, Nima. And the person told me they will be leaving, I think, tomorrow. Yes, it is true. He's now part of the ANC. His
you can announce for him. He was part of the New Deal, Chiefs. He went on UT
Henry Yala
ticket.
joined them.
He went on UT ticket and they paid a clipping for him.
Yeah.
You remember? So since that time, we don't know whether he have left the New Deal. But they started looking at Henry Yala. Echo. If I play a rich night, would not be easy. Because you go to Henry Yala now, ain't know what happened.
Yeah.
But they say all the other put and say no. So let's welcome Colonel E. Remy Gray. And before we bring in our guests, Brian Brown had to say something. You said something. I said something. We'll ask the Honorable Isaac Vatuba, what is he hearing around our politics or anywhere in the country?
You asking me now?
Yeah, we got at least a minute, 30 seconds, 2 minutes to what you're hearing, what you heard, or what you know is going on.
One of the key things I'm hearing is that the show is getting baseless. That the discussion is not vital to the progressive movement of our people. It's like, just primarily useless talk sometimes. And we need to be more focused on the issues that really concern the people, the bread and butter issues, the solutions to the problem the country face, than to be preoccupied with gossip and talk. Yes, that's part of the whole media piece, and what probably keeps some people, because people like to look at accidents. But in essence, we got to be able to provide substantive stuff, whether we break it down to the lowest level or not. We need to start talking about the real issues that are affecting our people, who can offer the better solutions, who are really caring in terms of where this country is, the direction is going, letting people understand the numbers that affect the country, understand how they can make decisions towards, these different positions they're looking at. How can we conscientize our voters that the factors you're supposed to vote on are not bag of rice, they're not, tribalism, they're not, $20 here, $30 there. So if we can elevate the discussion, that everybody can embrace the issues, we can come, yes, a lot of data is not kept in Liberia, and sometimes you can find, quantitative data, but to the extent, for example, let's say Joya government talking about since what? In 2018, when they came in, Ellen had like 600 kilometers of road. I just giving a rough example. And today they got 1,150 kilometers of road. So that 550 kilometers of road they claim they have built. Can we look at that and analyze it? Can we look at the roads that they're claiming? Can we look at how those roads have impacted the economy? Those kinds of things. If we say the government has, increased debt over from 2018, when it came in with $880 million worth of debt they met on the books, and today debt is like nearly $2.3 billion. So that $2 billion and change, who did it borrow that money from? Who are some of the legislators that approved those debt coming in, and what have those monies been used for? So I think people need to be informed. Just even their rights. Some people don't understand the rights, don't understand how empowered they are as individuals. How can we enlighten some of those people to be so empowered? So, hopefully we'll take it into serious consideration and try to get more substantive topics that can interest people. But at the same time, yeah, we can mix in some of the car accidents and some of the fights and some of the humor that we engage in. But those were some of the feedback I have received from people in terms of the show.
Well, thank you, my dear brother. It was just about a week or 2 weeks ago that Al Hussein Fadiga switched over to Omed Joe Boakai. Until then, we had Dr. Francine of the ANC, Salimatu of the CPP, Iremi Gray of the ANC, Al Hussein Fadiga of the ANC, Azef Atuba of the ANC. Are you suggesting that it was you guys that contributed? Because the whole platform was deemed an ANC platform. And last night, Dr. Francine used the word elevate. Munafaha used the word elevate. Today, you use the word elevate. Is it not a fact now that people are probably blaming the ANC for bringing down the platform to that level, for which now they are demanding that we elevate the conversation to a new level, since you guys are the dominant force on the platform as named earlier by me?
I can answer?
Yes, sir.
Again, if that what you think the blame is, fine. Blame it on the ANC people. But the bottom line is the people who have reached out to me said, let's elevate this discussion. So if the ANC people have to blame, fine, blame it on them. It doesn't make a difference who you blame, but overall, it's about elevating the discussion and focusing on the issues and having some topics that are directed toward those particular issues.
Yeah, one minute.
The guest is all set?
Yeah, the guest is okay now. I just wanted to ask Mr. Tuba just maybe 30 seconds or 45 seconds.
30 seconds, please.
All right. Before asking you, I want to say this. Every media institution in the world has their pattern of presentation, has their pattern of news gathering, just like other institutions, political or whatever you may name it. If you would come out today, or those people who came out to tell you that, and you came out to say it, so it was not useless the last time when you brought, unconfirmed or, just a recording that was in the street. You brought it out to blame it on another individual. It was not useless at that time.
It possibly could be useless.
Was it
useless? Maybe about what they're talking about.
So I think the presentation of the show, still with the presenters, they know what they're talking about. Everyone, even as you take the book, you just open it at this. If from 10 people or 20 people, about 2 or 3 people will tell you, say, you open it the wrong way.
I agree with you. That's what I'm saying.
We got our guest.
Don't take it personal. I brought it forward. If it doesn't make any sense, don't change it.
Yeah, I think it does not make sense.
For 1 minute 30 seconds, and when he's closing, please roll in the guest, the Honorable Clarence Moniba.
Well, gentlemen, I think yes, there could be some level of dissuasion. We try to sway away from, in my opinion, the purpose of this platform, which is to inform and educate. Maybe entertainment forms is just a minute part of it, but the fact that we are totally leaning towards it being for entertainment. Look, if people want to be entertained, they know where to go. But I think what Isaac Vatogwa brought up is something that you can consider, as a way of modifying to make the platform better. That's one. And then secondly, sometimes who controls the power? I'm sure all Chinese people are not communist by nature, but the government controls the balance of power. So by default, all Chinese are communist. This platform sometimes can be bullied, taken over, and even when certain individuals are making presentation, it's all because this is a private ownership, is not controlled by a board of directors, so to speak, that we are answerable to. So there are these distractions here and there. So whether or not ANC might have been the most dominant force on this platform, you will have to look at who controls the balance of power, who has the ability to just come and inject themselves into the platform and push everybody aside. Is because of this strong man thing. I own it, and so let's look at it positively. And um, in another situation, I'm looking at the National um, Elections Commission laws they're passing about campaign materials and paraphernalia and so on and so forth. Um, is it belated for them to say people should take campaign down? Is it another tactics? I think they're dishing out laws that are not balanced. They let certain people off the hook, and then let others, then they tight the screw on some other people. And these are all strong arm tactics to make people scared, from taking the lead in positioning themselves for the general election. When they weaken you now, when the general election comes, you got no face, no voice, no ability to even convince anybody because you're a weakling going in, and by one can attribute that to the Elections Commission
Thank
responsible.
you. Thank you. And I think you made a very good point. It sounds to me like we have to inform the CEO that the platform also has to be balanced. You can't have everybody from the CPP on the platform. And I say that in a very honest way, that if you have Dr. Francine, you have Salimatu on, you have Iremi Gray on, you have Asif Batukba on, then what is that platform? That platform is actually a CPP platform. And I think that's one of the things we need to look at as we bring in our guest, Dr. Clarence Maniba, who trailed us the last time. Dr. Maniba, let me say welcome before I go to you. It seemed as though the last time you struck gold here, and that's why you are back. Because the last time as you were speaking, a lot of people say, he's a sound guy, I'm leaning towards him. So now, it looks like you are back to get more people. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but I'd like to welcome you on behalf of the CEO, the management team and staff, the panelists on there, and the hardworking people of our studios. Would like to welcome you to the Spoon Talk this evening. Dr. Maniba, I'd like to go to you to give us your opening comments.
You're on mute.
Okay, so we're having a little technical problem there. And as soon as you're good, are you good now? Not yet. He's still saying not yet. Bring him in.
He's good. As no Barra is all, he's good. He's good. He's good.
He's talking, but we can't hear him.
Barra, you need to unmute. Barra, you need to unmute. Okay, he's good now.
He's still not good.
Barra, open his mic. Barra, unmute yourself and open his mic.
All right, not to waste the airtime. Once you come in, just come in talking. The guys are trying to adjust. Folks.
But so, Eugene, can you give us a summary of the discussion when Dr. Maniba was on the last time? Because, some
Dr.
of us
Maniba touched on a wide range of issues. The good news is he himself here. He will tell you some of the things, and that's what I want him to do in his opening comments. How
Can you hear me?
The main question was...
Is this better now, Eugene?
Yeah. I will not use my mouth to chew your pepper. So since Isaac has started and giving me pepper, say, can you chew Dr.
No, the
Maniba
mic will give you problem, man. Come on, Eugene.
No, but say the mic, but not Dr. Maniba, he right here, you know.
Yeah, he's on now.
Dr. Maniba, tell the Liberian people what you, I think Baron and play with the man mic again.
Boy.
You're fixing something there, right?
So, okay, so y'all can hear me good?
Yes.
Very well. Baron, don't touch
Excellent.
it. Just hold it right there with your head bent down until the show over.
No, honestly, thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me on, and very happy to be, because you know what, you're really helping me, because after I came off a spoon the next day, like you said, a lot of people in this country want change. A lot of people in this country are demanding for change, and so I think it's very different for people when they have a candidate who can come and talk about issues in detail, and who not only talk about the vision, but who also has the character, the competence, the educational background to be able to deliver. And so I'm very happy every time I have a platform. This is my third radio interview today, because my only mission for me and my team is to make sure that people hear us, that people understand that.
Just a minute, let me correct you there. This may be the third radio interview, but this is the #1 premier and the biggest platform in the nation. You have almost 3 to 4 radio stations connected to you right now, in addition to community radio stations, online platforms, YouTube, you name it, an actual television station. So it is indeed the bigger platform, the biggest, and you have a wider coverage. Nail us today, the Liberians are listening.
Absolutely. And that's why I'm happy. I think I was seeing here there's over 4,500 people already on right now. So again, it gives me the perfect opportunity, and that's why I'm so happy to be on here, to be able to talk about how we intend to build Liberia, how we intend to transform Liberia. And so the point I was trying to make was simply, I truly believe that if people continue to hear my voice, people continue to hear my platform and what I want to do for this country, and the fact that I have the ability and the education and the character and the vision and no stigma, the clean record, I truly believe that come October 10th, we'll be able to get enough votes to go to the second round and ultimately win. So I'm very grateful for this platform, and congratulations to everybody who has been working on this. This is by far Liberia's biggest platform. And so we'll continue to support it. We'll continue to come on so that we can talk issues to the Liberian people. I always say that right now in these elections coming, it's the most important elections in Liberia's history. So the Liberian people cannot start talking about, oh, this man popular, this man just coming, this man that his first time running in elections. Liberian people, we say we want change. And I say it, and I don't say it with shame face. I am the change that Liberia is looking for. I'm the very epitome of change, but with the experience of working in government, having worked as Minister of State, with the experience of serving as Chairman of LEC, with the experience of overseeing all of the infrastructure development. So I know that, Isaac, you talked about, a recap of the last time I was on this show. That was it. Talking about not only policies that I want to do in agriculture, which will completely transform this country, not only policies that I want to put in education, which again will transform this country, and I hope we'll have the time to go through it. But I'm very proud of the work my team and I are doing, and I truly believe that, again, come October 10th, the Liberian people will understand and see reason why we have to take true change in this country and true transformation in this country. So again, very happy to be here and to discuss, so we can really battle on this show. Thank you very much.
Eugene, you're on mute.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Let's go straight to the first question coming from me. It has been rumored that you've been tipped. I know you're running. I know you have your party. I know you're a candidate. But there are rumors permeating the corridors of our political arena that you are going second to Mr. Kumis. Yeah. What sayest thou?
Yeah. So, Alex is a big brother of mine. I know him. Just like how everybody in this political arena, we all know each other. We all talk, but that rumor is absolutely false. That's not going to happen. That's not even been a consideration from our camp. So again, I know Alex. I respect Alex, but I don't think right now our political lives will be intertwined with me going as vice president. What we are trying to do, and the reason I'm running for president, is simply because I believe that I offer the Liberian people the best alternative and the best choice. I'm not running for president just to say, oh, I want participation trophy, or I'm running just so people can know my name. No, I'm running to make history in this country. And the history I'm trying to make is, yes, we want to win and we hope to win the presidency. But the history we are fighting to make in this country is that we want to be the ones, a generation of leaders who truly transform this country. And that's why we are running for. And so the idea of me going as vice president to anybody right now has not and never been a consideration. We want to lead our generation and we want to lead the transformation of this country.
Thank you. The second question here is, when I look at your party, it's relatively, compared to some of the other parties, a new, small but growing party. And you seem to be attracting a lot of young people. You're fastly becoming a new face in our body politics. What sayest thou to the young people of the country, who forms the majority when it comes to the electorates? It means that if young people say, we will vote as young people, case closed. Yeah. You seem to be that upcoming character to many young persons. What would you say to them looking at you and listening to you by radio right now?
No, and Eugene, honestly, that's an excellent point. And that's why I truly believe that we are going to win. I truly, when I talk to people, I truly believe we are going to win. We continue to do polls and we are close, we are very close and in the mix. We are in the top three. We are in the top three in these elections. So I just tell the people of my generation that they have to believe. They have to believe that change is possible. They have to believe and understand that we are not too young to lead in this country. We are not too young to lead. I'm 44 years old. A lot of people look at me and say, oh, you young. No. J.J. Roberts was 39 years old when he became the first president of Liberia. France, the president of France, was 39 years old. When you
Macron.
Look at the United States, Macron, exactly. When you look at the United States, Barack Obama was 46 or 47 when he took over the biggest and greatest economy in the world. And so when you look at the UK, the current prime minister is 42, 43 years old. So we, first the Liberian people, and especially my generation, we have to understand that, one, we are not too young to lead, and two, we are going to be the change in Liberia. We are going to become the change that Liberia needs. And so I'm proud to be leading this fight. I'm proud to be leading this effort. I will continue to say we must believe that we deserve better in this country. And we also have to know that the Liberia we have right now is not good enough for Liberia. The Liberia we have right now is not good enough for Liberia. And so because of that, we have to take out of our mind, the person being here running for a long time, so let's give it to him. No, let's listen to everybody. Let every presidential candidate come on here and defend their platform. Let them talk about agriculture. Let them talk about education and healthcare. Let them talk about true transformation so that we can get more money from maritime instead of maritime using us. Let's look at the budget. Let's discuss that. Let's get leaders in this country who will be able to go anywhere in the world and enter any room in the world and be able to negotiate on behalf of the Liberian people so that we can bring the benefits, so that the resources of this country can be felt and benefited by all 5 million people and not just government officials and their families. That's the mistake we continue to make in this country. The fact that Liberia is made and Liberia is benefited only by people who are in government, their cousin, their brother, their pa, their ma. We have to stop that.
Thank you very much. We'll now move over to Isaac Tukma Jr. To come up with his two questions.
It would be great if this, discussion could be kind of extended. But Dr. Monba, welcome to the show.
We can extend it though. We're here all night.
I gotta go to the U.S. Africa Policy Working Group meeting. But while I'm driving, probably I could still be on the show.
Okay.
But it's wonderful to have a young man entering a race, focusing on the issues, and educating the people that it's not about how long you've been around. It's about what you bring to the table and the difference you can make based on your vision and your ability to implement. So just share with me your thoughts on infrastructure development for Liberia. What someone thought specifically. I know, somebody told me you basically said that you need $20 billion for roads. And
True.
2 or 20?
2.5 billion or so.
Oh,
for
so then the person you were wrong with what you said, because 2.5 billion is a line with what my own estimates are. But in terms of our infrastructure and where we are, where you were part of the previous government, you guys left off somewhere, and there are so many claims today of how infrastructure has advanced in the country. So you being closer to power at Ministry of State, and then with sort of an infrastructure institution in terms of LEC, can you share with us your thoughts on infrastructure, where we were, where we are now, and what the propensity is for us to move forward?
No, honestly, again, thank you for that question. And for me, in my opinion, the most important thing that Liberia is missing right now is electricity, infrastructure, it's roads. There was a study done that we did in 2015 with the United States government, which said the two things that Liberia needs to completely transform our country is roads and electricity.
Yeah, that's the binding constraints.
Say that again?
I say, yeah, the binding constraints. Yeah.
Exactly. Absolutely right. Those are the two things that Liberia needs right now. Because even right now, when you go build a hospital somewhere, like let's look at the Tapita Hospital right now, to get there, that road trouble. How about the Southeast? You can't even get there. So we have to be able to focus and figure out how to build all of our roads. And the reason why I'm running for president is because we need to change our mindset. We need to be able to have a leader who says we are going to connect all of the county capital roads in the first 6 years. It's going to take $2.5 billion, and we are going to go get that money, and we are going to work on the infrastructure in this country. We continue to delay our success in this country. We are okay with that mediocrity. We are okay with at least, or they try. We need leaders, like I was saying before, who can walk in the World Bank. And I'm proud to say I've worked at the World Bank as a consultant. I've worked at the African Development Bank as a consultant. I've worked at the United Nations as a consultant as well. We need leaders who understand the system, understand how to get money for this country, and be able to build our infrastructure development. So yes, we look at that we need $2.5 billion to connect all of the county capitals in this country and all of the roads. We also need $3.5 to $4 billion if we want to really electrify the entire country, meaning everybody in the towns and villages will have electricity. But we have to start to focus on solar energy in this country. You're not going to run a Mount Coffee Hydro to some small town in Lofa, or Mount Coffee Hydro to River G. But what you'll be able to do is take solar energy to the places. I'm proud of the work I've done in the previous administration. Even this ELW road that's being built right now, I was part of the team that helped to negotiate that money for the ELW to Coca-Cola Road. The frustration for me is that this road should have been completed by 2019. We are in 2023, it is still not completed. When you look at the Lofa Road, that also was part of the negotiations in terms of finding the contractors that broke ground in 2017. That road should have been completed in 2020. We are in 2023 right now, and it's still not completed. So the frustration and the reason I'm running for president is simply to say enough is enough. We cannot continue to develop this country in slow motion, which is what's happening. People in government may be enjoying, but the people who are in the rural areas, the people who are sleeping in darkness every day, the people who have to ride bike for 1 or 2 hours just to go give birth in a hospital or dying on the road, they don't have time to wait. So that's why I continue to insist to the Liberian people. Look for leaders right now who have the education, the energy, the experience, the expertise, the knowledge to develop this country, and to develop this country now. We have to start to think that way. We have to take the ownership. Sierra Leone leaving us behind, Ghana leaving us behind. Don't even compare us to Ivory Coast or Kenya. We have to develop Liberia, and we have to do it now. But in order to do that, the infrastructure that you talked about, again, I'm proud. I was part of the team that helped to negotiate the $250 million that's providing Mount Coffee energy right down in Monrovia. I was also part of the team and chairman of LEC when we concluded the negotiations.
Quick question on that. The 250, that's the MCC?
Yeah,
money?
the MCC, exactly.
Okay.
The MCC. So the $250 million was what we negotiated. I was on the negotiation team of 4 of us who went to the US and finalized the negotiations for that $250 million. But even when you look at all of the connections that's being done in Monrovia right now, What people don't understand is that in 2015 and 2016, we concluded in negotiations for $60 million with the European Union to be able to, it was called maneuver consolidation, to be able to electrify all of the homes from Mamba Point going all the way down to Painesville. So a lot of this work that's being done right now, all of the homes and connections that's still being done today was negotiated by the previous administration, something I'm proud to say, either as chairman of the board of LEC or head of the President's Delivery Unit, where I oversaw all of the infrastructure development in this country. I'm proud to say that we're able to bring this, and the Liberian people are benefiting for it now. But the last thing I want to say to that is, even though I'm proud of the work we have done already, there is still more work to be done. It is not good enough. It's not good enough to say, oh, yeah, we built 5 roads, we built 6 roads. I oversaw the Somalia Drive Japanese highway. Yes, I'm proud of what I've done, but we need so much more work to be done in this country.
Thank you. The other question is, like you said, you were at the Liberia Electricity Corporation and you guys negotiated the hydro. But in consideration of that hydro, do you think there's a combination question now? Do you think the 250 million were justified to put a hydro at where it was located, given the seasonal trends and the fact that the water level, in that river was not going to be at the level to consistently provide electricity? And tying that, so it is an LEC question. So we got to tie that now to the whole customer base of LEC, and I don't want to say lackadaisical way of collecting revenue, but just the way receipts are and the way the force in the public is. Then the last part of that, which I know you can touch on, is the whole budget thing. What is the LEC relationship with the budget? Because I see expected on the revenue side, I see funds coming in from state-owned enterprises. And sometimes they list the primary ones that's supposed to bring. But we know LEC has not been in a position to contribute significantly to our budget, even though the potential is there. But in this past budget or this coming budget, they're giving $50 million to LEC on paper. Do you think that would translate to reality?
No, just I will start answering your question from that last one going back. First of all, on paper, but they would never see it. And I just want to give a shout out to a big brother of mine, Money Captain, who I think is doing an excellent job, doing the best he can, being managing director of LEC. But what ends up happening, and it happened honestly in our administration, so not just this administration, Ministry of Justice will be connected to LEC. They do not pay the bill. All the other ministries, all the other state-owned enterprises, they will be, and it's so difficult for LEC to go and cut Ministry of Foreign Affairs line. You're not going to do it. And so because of that, they take advantage of that. So LEC is already and always operating on the loss. But when you talk about the fact of the $250 million that was used for Mount Coffee, I want to tell the Liberian people that there are certain levels of quality that you can get. What we ended up doing at LEC and at Mount Coffee was very clear. It was in negotiations with the donor partners, meaning the Germans, the Norwegians, the Americans, on what type of machines and what type of turbines we are going to use. We use the best of the best, which is from Germany, Voits. They are the number one in the country. So it's almost like we put the highest quality of machines and turbines in Mount Coffee. For an example, Guinea did something very similar around the same time, and right now their turbines are down. Their machines are down because they didn't use the best of quality. So the $250 million was a lot of money, but it was all money that we were able to negotiate from the American government, from the German government, from the Norwegians, from World Bank. So, it was donor money that we're able to secure. So it wasn't necessarily government money from our budget. But
wait, let me interrupt you there, because there were 6 turbines at the LEC. And then there were 4.
Mm-hmm.
They said there were 6, but only 4 was working at the time. And now, of all the turbines there, they had to go repeatedly for parts to Germany when I was in the government. And that's why we couldn't even get current. If those turbines were good, I don't even know how many of them are functioning now. But we have a serious problem in the country with electricity, even now the rainy season.
We do, you know what, and so that's why I always want Liberian people to understand that Mount Coffee was step number one of 100 steps that we have to take. The Liberian, we have to stop to think that Mount Coffee was going to solve all of the problems in this country, and that's why I'm proud to say we also negotiated the CLSG, which is buying electricity from Cote d'Ivoire, Guinea, and Sierra Leone to come into Liberia as well. That's to buttress what we're doing in Mount Coffee. If we want Mount Coffee to run year around, it's going to cost almost 1.2 to 1.4 billion dollars to build the St. Paul Dam in Lofa. So I don't want to get too technical, but I just want the Liberian people to understand that the reason why it's so important you select a leader like me, because you need people who not only understand the issues from a technical standpoint, but who can walk in any room. I've been blessed to have sat down with presidents of America, prime ministers of the UK, presidents of the World Bank. I've been blessed enough to have been able to sit with them and negotiate and have discussions with them. It's so very important for people to understand that they need leaders who will have the strength, the energy, and the ability to negotiate on behalf of the Liberian people and bring value to Liberia. We have to be able to do that, and we have to be able to do that on day one.
So before I move you over to Remy Gray, $250 million, Mount Coffee, and we're sitting here as a country still struggling. Do you think it was the right decision to just focus on Mount Coffee? In your estimation, since the government came from Ellington to present, how much do you think, in your estimation, that the Liberian people and their government have pumped into getting that hydro working, or if you like, electricity for better explanation? And still, we haven't got it.
Let me put it this way. All of the electricity that is being used by the Liberian people today, and I'll be clear about it, all of the electricity that is being used by the Liberian people today was negotiated by the previous administration.
Right.
Let's be clear about that. So when you ask the question if the $250 million was worth it, I say yes. Because most Liberians cannot afford generators. So the LEC and the electricity that just a few people are getting, that's why we need development, and we need development now.
But that's why I posed the question to you about how much you think have been invested in electricity and we still cannot get it.
You're talking about
in your estimation.
In my estimation, I will almost be exact. Again, I will continue to say this is why you need leaders who understand the issues. It's been over $600+ million by the donors and by government that has been pumped into the electricity sector. But I remind you again, to connect all of the homes in Liberia, we need upwards to $3.5 billion. So the money that has been put into electricity in Liberia is just a small portion. Let's not confuse that small portion to say that it should be able to get electricity to everybody. We don't. Let me tell you one of the main reasons why right now, especially in Monserrado and Monrovia, why we don't have stable supply of electricity. We cannot fix our own transformers in this country. When transformers spoil, we have to wait for 6, 7, 10 of them to spoil before we send them out of the country. That is, I would just say, I won't say it's stupidity, but it's just the point that the reason why we are suffering in this country is because we don't do simple things. I remember one time we had to bring in people from Ghana to do work that Liberian people should be able to do. So that's why technical and vocational training is so important. To develop a country is very easy. We make it complicated. Like I said before, Sierra Leone has done it, Ghana has done it, Ivory Coast has done it. Only Liberia, we sit here and we have the same mindset that we have. That's why we have to change it. And so when Liberian people say we want change, I tell people I'm the change that we are looking for.
Okay, let's go over to Remy Gray. Remy, the microphone is over to you.
Well, good day, Clarence. The thing is, let us go back to this issue. I want to maintain this as a socioeconomic discussion.
One second. Remy, can I just add a follow-up question to that before we go to Remy, please? On the whole
yes, go ahead.
Yeah, Doc, there was the issue of alternatives at the time to the Mount Coffee Dam. What other options were pursued, and how serious were we about alternative energy, especially solar energy, in terms of the proliferation in the country?
You know what it was at that point was, and I love the fact that we're going into detail about electricity because it's so very
Very
important.
important.
I was at most of our schools in this country don't have electricity. Most homes in Liberia don't have electricity. So that's why it's so important again to be able to talk about this in detail. So when you talk about the alternative for Liberia, the key is getting solar energy. We before we left, we have worked with the World Bank to commission a report, which is actually being continued on by this administration. I will give them credit for that, and like I said, the LEC will be able to talk more about it right now. But the first choice and the best choice in electricity around the world is still hydropower. And that's why we decided as a government to go and develop hydropower in Mount Coffee to be able to bring 88 megawatts in, but knowing that also at the very same Mount Coffee, we began to commission, but we did not complete it. So I don't want to say we're taking credit for it. But we also began, as we were building Mount Coffee, we also began the negotiations for solar power farm at the very Mount Coffee, which is still ongoing as we speak. So yes, I continue to tell the Liberian people, Mount Coffee was step one in 100 steps that need to be done to ensure that everybody in Plebo, that everybody in Greenville will have electricity in this country.
Remy?
All right. So this issue of developing national infrastructure sits at the core of every political individual who speaks, and you no different from the rest of the others. But the last time you approached us, you talked about getting $2.5 billion just for road connectivity and what have you. Unfortunately, you looked at the source of obtaining that sort of money from borrowing, and I saw that our audience was shaking because we are sitting now with $2.3 billion in debt. It may not sound much, but this administration currently took it from 800 plus billion, million dollars. Now we're sitting at about 2.2 or 2.3. Now, when here is Dr. Moneyba coming again talking about borrowing 2.5 just for road connectivity, I'm pretty sure you have a formula for generating revenue as opposed to just borrowing. Or, that's why I wanted you to touch on a little bit. How are you
Okay.
going to fund this kinds of initiative other than borrowing?
No, and that's a good point, and I can understand why people are worried about when people talk about borrowing. But let me be very frank and clear with everybody. Every single country, every single country, I will say it again, borrows money to develop. The great United States of America owes trillions of dollars in debt today. So if we want to develop our country, our national budget right now is 700 million. I just talked about the fact that we need $2 billion to build all the roads in the country. That doesn't involve hospitals, which we have to address as well. That doesn't address our educational sector because we have to be able to pay our teachers more money. We have to be able to pay our civil servants more money. There's absolutely no reason why we should be paying our police officers $125 when government officials are making 10,000, 12,000, 14,000. So when you talk about the debt, to borrow money is not bad. The use of the money is the problem. Right now in Liberia, we borrow money, we don't apply it properly. So that's why I'm proud to say I've helped to negotiate hundreds of millions of dollars for Liberia. And now one single person will ever say that Dr. Clarence Moniba stole money or Dr. Clarence Moniba took bribe, Dr. Clarence Moniba took percentage. We have to have people who know what they're doing, who knows how to negotiate on behalf of the Liberian people, who will ensure that the money that's being borrowed is not only being applied properly, but will benefit the future generations of this country. The reason why we would have to borrow that money is simply because you are not going to take a $700 million budget and build all of the roads within 2 or 3 years. It's impossible to do. But our administration and our campaign team is very clear on it. In the first 6 years, we will connect all of the county capitals in this country, or else there's no reason for us to come back to the Liberian people and say, vote for us again. We are very clear that the development that Liberia needs will happen in the first 6 years because we have to start to ascend. I will say it one more time. Ghana is leaving us behind. Sierra Leone is leaving us behind. So therefore, we have to borrow, but we have to borrow smartly. We have to borrow and hold people accountable. I know we'll have an opportunity to talk about corruption, but I want to be very clear about this as well. The reason why corruption is so bad in Liberia is simply because nobody goes to jail in this country. Nobody goes to jail in Liberia for corruption. It's very difficult, if not impossible, to name anybody over the last 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, or 20 years who has gone to jail in Liberia for corruption. So yes, we have to borrow so that immediate help can come into the country, but we will apply it properly so that our children, our grandchildren will benefit. We'll build roads that will last 20, 30 years like every other country does, not just putting cement water on the road and 2 years later you see BB potholes. We will build international standard roads that our grandchildren will be able to drive on and be proud to say, our parents did this for us and we are benefiting from it.
My second question has to do with, some sociological question. When you were here the last time, you spoke about sustaining the legacy of your late father, Dr. Moniba himself. And of course, that was in passing, and everybody will sustain their generational ambition. It is our forefront responsibility to hold on to what our family, individual family, ascribe or subscribe to. And so that's one aspect. But clearly, I know Dr. Moniba is in this because he has a vision, and he feels that vision can trickle down and help our country to move forward. But when you pass around our system, people will look at the likes of you and say, oh, you were brought in by Madam Sirleaf. That's why it makes this sociological. You were brought in by Madam Sirleaf because they're trying to obstruct certain political, interests here and there. Yeah. So tell us, please, that you're in this because you have a vision.
And again, that has been a question. I think people do that when they want to minimize your potential. I've been blessed. I would never deny that I've been blessed. I've been blessed through academic scholarships. I've earned 2 masters and a PhD. I've been blessed to have served for the Liberian government since 2007 at the Liberian Embassy in Washington, D.C., the Liberian Permanent Mission at the United Nations, as Minister of State, as Chairman of LEC, as head of the Infrastructure Delivery Unit in this country. I've been blessed to have worked for African Development Bank and the World Bank and consultants at the United Nations. What I need to tell the Liberian people is that there are good Liberians in Liberia who want to see good for this country. I will say it again. There are good Liberians in Liberia who want to see good for this country. And so when people start to say, do you think I have sacrificed, and I say it, I have sacrificed my entire life and committed my entire life towards the development of Liberia. I'm running for president today because this has been a lifelong commitment from me since 2004. And I think I told the story on here when I promised 2 people the day I buried my father. I promised myself and I promised my late father that I would be one of the people to change and transform this country. And so I'm running for president right now because I truly believe that I offer the Liberian people the best choice, the best true alternative to develop this country. When we say we want change, I want the Liberian people to believe I'm the change that Liberia needs in this country. So I'm running for president simply because it's a life mission and we are here to make history. The history is of changing this country and not because somebody else is telling me to do anything. So, when people say that, I just laugh because they don't understand what burns inside of me, the passion I have for this country, the love I have for this country. And that's the type of leaders we need. We need leaders who love the country more than they love themselves. And that's who I am. And that's why every single day I'm on the radio, every single day I'm in communities talking to the Liberian people to we believe that we deserve better in leadership.
Well, thank you very much. And that does it for Remy on the 2 questions. We're going to welcome Al Hussein Y. Fadiga. Honorable Fadiga, we say welcome to the show, and we'll give you your 2 questions with Dr. Moneyback.
Thank you so much. Welcome again, Doc. Sorry I was out. I was almost out today, but I had to come in just because we were appearing. But I have 2 quick questions. One concerning the dam. I know you mentioned something about Guinean dam is down, but I've spent some time in Guinea. I have some activity there. I've been there in the last couple of years. They have pretty much stable electricity. We spend, based on what I see you said 280. I think we spend close to 383 million on our Makofi dam. The Guineans spend at least 526 million on the Kalita dam, and they produce almost 240 megawatts of electricity. Bigger population, larger country. Liberia spent 380 million. Do the math. I'm not an economist. I don't know nothing. We spent 383 million on Makofi to, I think, 84 megawatts. Is that what we put it on? And we can barely get it out there.
88 megawatts, yeah.
88. 88.
Yeah, 88 megawatts.
And so you see where my problem is. Just looking at the numbers, I mean, just for a layman's thing, there's a problem over there. I know you talk about the quality and of the material and thing, but don't you think that was a waste? I mean, look at it, $536 million. They got 240 megawatts, and they have stable electricity from the few times I spent there.
I think the mistake we're making is trying to talk down development in this country. And again, I'm not saying that but we are talking about Makofi Hydro Dam that used the best equipment in the world, which was part of the negotiations done with the World Bank and the U.S. government and the Norwegians and the Germans. We used the best quality dam in the world because that was one of the requirements that we had from them in negotiations. Voigt is the best hydro dam in the world. The equipment and everything is the best in the world, second to none. So I think we have to be very clear, because what you're seeing right now is that we're essentially comparing, a 10-bedroom house to a 2-bedroom house and seeing this person,
no, but the problem we can clearly see that it's not working.
You got your 10-bedroom house. You want to compare it to the 2-bedroom, but the people who got 2-bedroom, they're more than us. They're bigger than us. They enjoy everything.
They enjoying everything. We cannot even
listen. You guys are completely getting off track here. To be frank with you, okay. We are trying to
make this make sense. Make it make
Let
sense.
me make it make sense to y'all. The $300+ million you're talking about is also inclusive of connections to homes. It's still not just for the development of the dam. It's also for the connections of homes that cost even almost more than what it takes to build Makofi. But what I'm saying when we're talking about the development and the mistake that we are making is we are trying to re-look at Makofi and make it bad. No, there's electricity in this country right now, and the money that was used, the $300+ million, was used because the previous government had people who can go out and get money. People who could go out to the U.S. government, to the World Bank, and negotiate money on behalf of this country. Every now and then you'll hear this current administration say, "Oh, there's no money coming into the country." I think it cut off.
No, we can still hear you. I can still hear you. We can still hear you. Yeah, we can hear you. We are seeing you.
Where is you can see me as well?
Yeah, we can see you. We can hear you. Everything is fine. You see, my problem is
maybe your guy just
the mistake that we are making is this. And again, I really want to talk about how we can ensure that we get solar energy into the country, how we can ensure that agriculture in Liberia right now would be able to ensure that we are self-sufficient in our staple food of rice. Everybody wants to relitigate and
Dr. Monuma, you're talking about solar. We got 88 megawatts. Are we exhausting the 88 megawatts?
That's a question for LEC today. You guys are asking me questions that LEC managing director should be.
All right, good. That's fair enough.
What I'm trying to tell people is simple. I was part of the team that helped to bring in hundreds of millions of dollars to build Mount Coffee Hydro. The questions you are asking today should be answered by the LEC team. So I don't want to confuse what we are trying to do in our for president. When we talk about running for president, I'm very clear that we have to be able to pave all of the county capital roads within the first 6 years. We have to be able to provide solar energy to all the towns and villages all over the country. When we talk about agriculture, every single county must be responsible to grow something in this country. When we talk about education, every single high school graduate must be able to graduate with 2 years of technical and vocational training. So to spend more than 20, 30 minutes, I think I'll have to come back now. But to spend 20, 30 minutes talking about my coffee, I think it's not doing.
I think the reason why some of us went on that thing, because we're trying to hold the Salif administration accountable for some of the things that they did. You serve in our administration. You help make some of those decisions good or bad. We just want to know, at what point do you hold yourself accountable for whatever it is that LDC have turned into? But I won't put that on you. Let us move on to our next question. I see you doing well. A lot of people since the last time try to, say they enjoy your appearance here the last time. But we've been hearing out there that you've been tapped. I don't know by the Cummins team or the CPP team as a running mate. Your name keeps coming up every time we hear. Have they reached out to you? Have anybody from the CPP reached out to you? Let's start with that.
We, like I said, we are all friends. I know Alex. He's an older.
I know you guys are friends.
Yeah.
But have they reached out to you?
Whether they have reached out to me or not, the whole point is that we are absolutely not going to be the vice presidential choice of Cummins.
So you're not going to accept if he asks you?
Even if I was offered. I have not been offered.
If
I was offered, I would not accept. I want to make that very clear to the people of Liberia. We are running for president because we believe that we provide the best choice for the Liberian people in generational change, but competent generational change to transform and change this country. That's why we are running for president. If I thought that somebody else was in the race who was better than me, I would not have declared. I would have supported that person. So I believe for the best choice for the Liberian people. And second to none, because I talked about earlier that I truly believe what Liberia needs now is somebody who understands infrastructure development at the technical level, somebody who can walk into any room on day one and negotiate on behalf of the Liberian people, and there will be no stigma behind them, somebody who has the energy to go around the country and see the issues and the ills of this country and be able to go to anywhere in the world and be able to bring value to the Liberian people. I offer that the best because I have the experience in that, the background in that. And that's why, again, I'm running for president and not as somebody's vice president. I cannot be any more clear than that. I am not going to be anybody's vice president, not because I think I'm better than the vice presidential position. I'm proud of what my dad did serving as vice president to this country. I'm proud to say my father, Dr. Harry Moniba, to me, was the best vice president in the history of this country, and also would have been the best president if he had the opportunity to do so. So I'm not saying I'm better than being a vice president. I just feel like I offer the best alternative to the Liberian people in terms of qualification, education, background, and energy to be able to deliver for the Liberian people.
Thank you so much. Since we threw away the electricity, can I get my question back, Mr.
I'm going to give you that one more.
Oh, yeah. So let's get back to the debt. I know you said I'm not against debt. Debt, but one of the problems that African countries are faced with is debt distress, especially for some of us, like countries like Liberia that do not use their own currency. We tend to be heavily reliant on foreign currency, the euro, the dollars, and especially Liberia, we heavily relying on the dollars, and you, the economists, will probably know that sometimes, especially with our money depreciating, it can become a problem with repaying those debt. How do you think we're going to pay? Is there a way that we can use our domestic revenue to fund some of these things? Why are we always borrowing? How can we tap into our domestic revenue?
Absolutely. And you know, I'm so happy that everybody on this panel has asked detailed questions about how we intend to transform this country. What I hope is that the other presidential candidates will be able to come and defend some of these issues as well, so that the Liberian people can truly compare who truly understands the issues of this country. So when we talk about growing the revenue of this country, I'll give you a simple example. Maritime. Liberia is the second largest flag carrier country in the world. Yet we get pennies on the dollar for the development of this country. We don't have any Liberians who are on those ships making money. Something we should be insisting on is if you want to carry the Liberian flag on your ship, hire 1 or 2 Liberians. There's so many taxes that we don't collect. Right now, you go to a lot of these shops owned by not only foreigners, but Liberians as well. Time to pay taxes. Say, moment, can't let talk. If you owe 10,000 to the Liberian people in taxes, they will come, they compromise, they pay $2,000. All this land here, especially when you go in Monrovia, on Tubman Boulevard, on tax, undeveloped land. You look at the tourism sector in Liberia. Liberia has the best surfing facilities in Africa when you go to Cape Mount. We don't invest in tourism. We don't build our skills. We import everything. We don't export anything. So these are things when we talk about changing and transforming the country, we have to do so on a district level. Every district in this country should be responsible and should be able to have one factory, one technical institution that the people of that district can go to, one hospital that will be able to hire nurses and doctors to be able to treat the people of that district. We have to develop Liberia district by district, county by county, so that we can build the resources and the part of Liberia. We don't have enough money coming in, and then the budget of this country is not used properly. $20 million going to the president's office. For what? When a hospital in River G or Sino or Maryland cannot get $100,000 for operations. So the budget is also a serious issue in this country. The budget of Liberia is meant to serve the people who are serving in government and not the masses. So these are all ways that we'll be able to transform Liberia so that the wealth of this country is enjoyed and benefited by all of the Liberian people.
All right, so we had that going. Now I'm about to be the daredevil. You ready for me? I always go in the corner, take out some kind of devilish thing that I know will chase you on the campaign trail. And I bring it to you so that you're able to prepare yourself so that when it meets you on the campaign trail, you're able to say, if Fagon told me I should prepare myself, it will come. So let's do the daredevil thing. You play professional football, an athlete, correct?
Yeah.
You also acted in movies, correct?
Yes.
The Invisible. You acted in We Are the Marshal, correct?
Yeah.
But Fagon, man, the man got eyes in the sky.
I see you did some real research.
We get it as once more. So when I look at Dr. Moneyba and I see the guy flowing, you know, I'm a person I've been talking for all these years. Even me, Grace said, I said, my man, if I'm going to talk to her, but you know, it is what we do. And a person comes to you and you are out there, you are putting out these nice ideas on policy and implementation as it should be. I can tell you though, you will lose the debate on LEC if you ever try it again. I'm going to be frank with you. Because if you tell us about the best in the world, and yet we get in the least, Liberian will not understand what you mean about quality.
But
they're not going to really follow you on that debate.
Just to that point, Eugene, that's why I wanted to move off of that, because I think, you know, the fact that we are talking about LEC in that detail, when you're talking about politics and trying to win an election, it detracts. So that's why I kept trying to shift the conversation.
Well, I know you were trying to
y'all
get away from it.
digging it. But you know, like I said, I just want to quickly say this. I'm proud of the
we pay our money, 700 million. We've been there now for almost 20 years. We can't get that. The people who spend 500, they're enjoying. They will go to the poor who spend 500, will say, you'll be up always like. You go that debate, the poor run behind you. Don't go there again. I'll speak over English.
No, I didn't go there. Y'all kept digging into it. But again, I would say it one last time. Every single electricity that Liberia is enjoying today was done by the previous administration. I just want that to be very clear. The amount
That's a very salient point, and everybody will give you the heads up for that. Now, before I go to the dead there, we'll look at Isaac. Okay, come in. Before you throw the car in the gutter, unmute yourself.
No, it won't go in the gutter. I just got reminded about, I don't know if you listened to Senator Kuhn the other day on his concept of how everybody Liberian can be a millionaire from being part of the electricity process. But if you didn't listen, and if I summarize what he was saying wrongly, maybe some of his folks can come in and help and clarify what he said. But in essence, with what we have now in terms of transmission, I know you understand our whole, generation is similar, okay, but transmission and distribution has been like evasive for us. We haven't been able to master it. So if somebody can say Liberians can distribute electricity and become millionaires from it, just like, simple model, what is your perspective on that?
Please, you broke up small. I was trying to say that last part again, the question.
I'm saying Senator Kuhn simplified the process of electricity into people distributing and everybody becoming a millionaire in Liberia from distributing electricity. The first thing is, what is the revenue model for electricity, for LEC to actually be profitable, that if we look downstream and look at the transmission and distribution pieces where Liberians can be involved in that sector?
I think he broke up again, though.
All right, I think his question was more to the effect that Kuhn said that our problem is transmission and distribution. And our working government, that's always been our problem, transmission and distribution. Kuhn came up and said that, look, privatize the thing. If people get involved from the private sector with distributing, transmitting and distributing electricity, like it's done here in the US, where we live by different companies, I think it will be much more better. That was his idea. And then he went on to say people will be millionaires.
You have to
trying to ask you, what is your perception on that issue?
You have to privatize LEC at some point. But LEC is in a state and situation right now that nobody will ever buy LEC right now as a private company because it's operating at a loss. Almost every dollar that LEC makes, half of it is gone because it's stolen. So no private company is going to come and buy LEC right now. We have to be able to build more megawatts. We have to be able to provide better transmission and distribution services to the Liberian people before it becomes attractive to the Liberian people or to a private business to come and buy. So, it's very important, again, when we want to talk about meaning that every single person in Liberia needs to have electricity, yes, LEC is going to play a part, but we need solar providers. That's why we need to create a government where people can come and they are confident in the people who are leading this government. Right now, no foreign direct investment is coming to the country because they don't have trust in the government and the people who are leading it. Let's be very fair and honest about that. The reason why money is not coming into Liberia is because people look at the people who are running this government and they don't feel comfortable for one reason or other. And so if somebody like me was to take over the leadership of Liberia, I promise you one thing, foreign direct will come into this country simply because we are competent enough, we have the character, we have the background and the history of delivering. People want to feel comfortable with the leadership. And so when we talk about privatizing LEC, when we talk about making sure electricity comes all over the country and bringing companies that do solar power, it has to start from the leadership of this country. It has to have people who understand this at the technical level, who has the background at the technical level, and who has the character and the ability to deliver for the Liberian people. I will say it one more time. I think I've said it 2 or 3 times, but I want the people to remember what I'm saying. If we want change in this country, if we want a true alternative in this country, I am the solution. I am that option for Liberia. And so I want to be very clear. Every time Liberians will say, oh, yeah, that your first time running, test the water. No, we are not trying to test the water. We are trying to make history and to change this country. That's why we are running for president.
All right, now let me play the daredevil. I was about to do that when Isaac came in, so now I'm going to play the daredevil, and I want you to know that I'm playing at 9 to give you the opportunity because that's exactly the pool with the flag on that I will be running with. So I got to warn you ahead of time. I'm going to be running with this flag in my hand in front of your football team. I want the country to know the daredevil is coming outside. Here's the daredevil. It says Dr. Moneybat graduated from New Mexico State University, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And he graduated, according to my notes here, in rhetoric, and professional communication.
Yes.
In Liberia, we say if a person got a doctorate degree in rhetoric and professional communication, that means they got a degree in sweet talk. They can talk sweet. Imagine that sweet talk, you got a degree in rhetoric and professional communication. No wonder why the man flowing like this. Nobody can stop him. The man can't even stammer. The man can't even mess word. The man a doctorate degree holder in sweet talk and professional communication. What sayest thou to the average Liberian listening to you and they say you went to school to talk sweet talk? Good.
Sweet talk. Sweet talk. Good talk.
Good way.
But
divide that thing quick for the ordinary people.
This is the reason why God, if I'm blessed to become president of Liberia, where you think we'll use the sweet talk to bring money to the country? Liberia, the reason why we are suffering right now because we have leaders right now who don't know how to do the sweet talk. Let's put it that way. We have leaders who will go, and sit down in front of a different president or in front of the World Bank or in front of the United Nations and be scared to talk. Imagine if I'm leading the country and I'm walking in the room as the president of the Republic of Liberia. And I'm looking at somebody and say, I need $2 billion to pave all of the roads in my country, and I need that money now. Imagine if I'm going to China and Thailand and saying that Liberia must be self-sufficient in our staple food of rice, and you are going to help me. And I go to Norway and I say the same thing, and I go to Germany. Germany is the best country in the world for technical and vocational training. One of my major policies is that in education, everybody graduating from high school must have 2 years of technical and vocational training. So this sweet talk that I've been blessed to be able to have, where I can go in any room. I've talked to so many presidents throughout my life. I've had the opportunity to sit down and talk to Barack Obama for hours, to President Bill Clinton for hours, to the Prime Minister of Tony Blair, to presidents all around the world, in Africa, in Asia, and in Europe. And they all say the same thing. Liberia needs leaders. Africa needs leaders like you. And so that's why I'm running for president, so that we can prove to the world, to Africa, that Liberia is one of the greatest countries in Africa. And we will do so by ensuring that development and infrastructure funding comes into this country. We will do so because I've been blessed with the ability to go anywhere in the world and discuss and negotiate. And so this sweet talk has also helped to bring hundreds of millions of dollars to Liberia. So I want to continue to use my ability to talk, to convince, and to lead the Liberian people so that we can have a better country.
Thank you. My second question. They say, that man Eli Brahio, he was the head of the presidential delivery unit. I'm helping you here. I'm the daredevil. I'm helping you. I know what's going to chase you. I've been in the business for 38 years. You say you're 44. Do that math right there, you will know. They say, that man Eli brought that man. When man Eli brought him, she made him minister of state. Can you imagine? Minister of state, then they made him head of the presidential delivery unit. That too, then they made him head of LEC. That man Eli's son there. What sayest thou to the people saying you are Ellen regenerate or reincarnate, or my Ellen brought you to succeed her? Speak to the Liberian people.
There are good Liberians in Liberia who want to see good for this country. There were good Liberians who are even working in this current administration today. They are good Liberians. They are committed and dedicated Liberians. They are dedicated and committed Liberians who worked in Ellen's government, who worked in Taylor's government, who worked in Doe's government, and who worked in Tubman government. I'm proud to say I am one of the good, clean, educated, qualified Liberians who worked under President Sirleaf. And the reason why I was getting all those positions wasn't because I was her son. It was because I was delivering for the Liberian people. So she was giving me these jobs. She continued to elevate me because anywhere I went, I was blessed enough to build a team so we could succeed. The reason I went from head of the President's Delivery Unit, because we were able to ensure that the Somalia Drive Japanese Highway was built. We were able to ensure and oversee the implementation of the red light to Banga to Ganta Highway. The reason why I was elevated to Minister of State and Chairman of LEC is simply because we were able to go out and represent the Liberian people in a respectful and appropriate manner, in a successful manner. And so I continue to get promotions. So I'm proud of the work I did in her administration. And I'm proud of the work I will continue to do for the Liberian people. So yes, I had the opportunity to serve the Liberian people, and I did it, and I'm proud of the work I did. And again, I will go back to the issue of corruption. Not one single Liberian, not one single international person will ever say that Dr. Clarence Moniba took $1 single from anybody because of the character that we were leading with.
Thank you very much. We will now go over. Isaac, are you there? You are muted.
You said I can ask my question?
Yeah, you can go ahead because we want you to continue driving, listening. Then the other two will come in. So you can go ahead. You have the microphone.
And Remy go first, and then I'll go last.
Okay, no problem. We'll go back to Remy. Remy, the microphone is yours.
All right. I'm glad to hear that you got some humble beginning in the movie industry, which is highly sociable, and you also have a second, career shift. That two they name. One has to do with the movie industry. What was the other one again? Football, which is sports. We look at our population, and I think we have a booming, very young and energetic population. This is why most of them are becoming addicts, in substance use and abuse. And because those social constructs are lagging, people don't have any sport to play in Liberia, unless we're having a county meet. So far, that's the only thing that can click Liberians up this time. And the movie industry and the entertainment industry is really still at a caricature level, very low in terms of quality. And we have a very young population that could be shifted in terms of their attention from drug to, just social activities. And it's very difficult to hear people talk about what they're going to do to distract our youth population that is increasingly becoming a drug population in our country. And I would like you to, I know this is not a priority right now for you, for some of us, because there are certain things that we have to be able to grab and run with in terms of the fierce urgency of now. But also one can say those industries like the entertainment industry and like the sport industry, they also need to move faster.
Absolutely.
I've not heard you talk about share some of your ambition in that light.
It's so unfortunate what we are doing to the young people and the younger generation of this country. To move anybody and take anybody out of poverty, all they need is an opportunity. And that opportunity is what we are not giving to the young people of this country. I'll give a simple example. In the Invisible Park that was built last year, that was like everybody was going so crazy. Oh, we have a park. We got it. We should be talking about doing that in every single district in this country. We should be talking about doing that in different communities, because now people have a place to go in a safe manner and play sports and develop. It's so shameful for us as Liberians that Liberia cannot even get to the Cup of Nations. And it's simply because we don't provide the services to the Liberian people, to the young people of this country. When you talk about acting, we don't have any movie studios here. When you talk about singing, there's no real professional music studios. We do not give the young people of this country an opportunity to develop. We don't. Even in education, somebody will go to school, the teacher is making $40, $50 a month. They don't get paid on time. They're sitting on the floor. There's no books. There's no light. There's no electricity. There's no food. And we expect the person to learn. We have not given the young people of this country an opportunity to develop. We have not given the young people of this country an opportunity to thrive. And again, that's why I'm running for president, because we have to be able to ensure that the next generation of Liberians are educated, are well fed, are equipped for the future. Because we're not just only fighting here in Liberia. We have to be able to compete and do better than the Ghanaians. We have to be better educated and better trained than the Nigerians. It's a competition. And right now, unfortunately, Liberia is losing. So when you talk about sports, we have to be able to come and be able to say, and this is something, honestly, I expected this administration to do. Our current president should be able to pick up the phone and call PSG and call Liverpool and call Chelsea and say, I want y'all to build one stadium, each sporting club. I want you to build one stadium in Lofa. Then I want you to build one good stadium in River G. Then I want you to build one good stadium in Sino. That's what you talk about when you talk about developing the country. So when I talk about developing Liberia district by district, these are things we have to be able to do. Every single district should have at least a place where our young people can go in a safe environment. The reason why a lot of our children go to drugs is simply because they don't have skills. Even when they graduate from high school, what are they going to do besides sell orange minute, don't stop minutes? There's no good colleges. They can't afford it. So the opportunities in this country, we do not provide for the young people. And then we get confused when they go do drugs. There's nothing for them to do. There's nothing productive. There's no good football field. I started an academy called Moneyball Football Academy. I'm very proud of it because we have one of the top teams, even though we lost last week in the finals in the tournament. But we started this academy for 12 and under. 15, 16, 17-year-olds showed up. Why? Because there's nothing to do. We have to be able to provide the young people of this country proper education, proper feeding, proper opportunities to empower themselves and grow their skills.
In line with the education, we all know that tertiary and primary, secondary education is extremely lagging in our country. We have not been able to structure our education since probably about 5 years before the war. I remember when we used to say, your dad was extremely famous for saying that if you think that education is expensive, try ignorance. He was extremely noted for that, and that's one of the very popular phrases that some of us incorporated from him. And so when you look at our youth, because education is not even, some of them, most of them, education is not even in their plate immediately, because the man, at age 15, 16, will have to start fending for his family before, at that age, that very crucial age.
Even younger.
Yes, even younger. But you've talked about developing LOICs, industrial opportunity for people to learn skills. In line with that, since we have a young population, if you ask me, I would say most of our counties, all 15 of them, especially the most populated ones, will need at least about 4,000 to 5,000 security forces. When we say security forces, most people think it's to only control people's movement, and so that's one objective. But sometimes some of these forces can be utilized in various ways, even to push our agriculture ambition forward. You can use people in downtime when they're not performing any security duties. But how do you tend to really curb this crime in our country? It's Liberia is becoming increasingly
It is.
lawless and
It
very
is.
unsafe. You
It
know,
is.
out looking in, it's like a scary zone to go into.
It is. And that's the unfortunate thing. And what also helps people being scared to even come to Liberia is simply because look, a few years ago when the auditors were killed, no investigation, no findings, nothing. They just died like that. Nothing happened. Nothing was said about it. Look at so people can die in Liberia. Nobody goes to jail. So the reason why the country is so unsafe are several reasons. One is the fact that let's look at our police force, who I honestly respect our police people. I know a lot of people can be saying, "Oh, look how they want corrupt. Look how they want he taking money." What do you want the man to do when you haven't paid the man in 2 months, in 3 months? The man got a family, 2 or 3 children. He got rent to pay, and then you tell the man to go stand under the sun or under the rain. We have to be able to provide better pay for our police officers, for our immigration officers. We have to be able to provide better training for them. Some people have been in the police force for 10, 12 years and never gone back for training. They got one uniform. How do we want them to secure us? They don't have handcuffs. They don't have vehicles. They don't have bikes. They don't even have place to stand up. Some people, sometimes we can get in tent. The country will not be secure. We are fooling ourselves, just like in education. We are fooling ourselves to say that we are educating the young people of Liberia. We are also fooling ourselves when we say we have a secure country. Our police officers are not empowered to secure this country. Even let's look at, when we talk about security, let's even look at the fire department. How many fire trucks do we have in Liberia? How many fire trucks do we have in Liberia? Let's even take it a step further, ambulances and hospitals. How many ambulances do we have in Liberia? So when we talk about transforming this country, and I know you talked about the security, so I don't want to go too generalized, but the security of this country, we are living by the grace of God in this country and not by leadership. We are living by the grace of God in this country and not because of policies that are being implemented. The reason I'm running for president is very simple. There are two problems in Liberia. We do not implement and we don't hold people accountable. And so that can only be done when the executive is taking leadership serious. When the executive knows what to do, how to do it, and has the ability to do it. Our security will not be assured in Liberia until we get better trained police officers who are retrained, who have equipment, who have boots, who have more than one set of uniform, who we are paying more than $100 a day. Our immigration officers. I was at the border the last time, at the Nimba Guinea border the last time. The facilities we give to our people is not fair to them. It's not fair. It's really not fair to our people.
So, Alfadiga?
All right, man, you're doing great so far. I mean, I can see from the comments on there, but great. You touched on a lot. I know I came a little late, so if you stuck on this before, forgive me, but I've just been curious and wondering about it. Let me go somewhere with. Let's just go back. One of the problem Liberia is faced with is addiction. I don't know what Remy asked in that direction, but addiction is becoming a serious problem. You got one
Drugs.
other one. Drugs is a serious problem. Drugs and corruption. And I want to put the two things together because I think they are interwoven. I want you to tell, or the issue of drug, like I say, has been a major challenge in Liberia for many years. If elected as president, what step will you take to combat first drug trafficking, secondly corruption, and to promote transparency, accountability, and good governance in the country? What step would you put in place to address those issues?
And thank you for that question. The first thing we have to do is that the fact that our government officials are not mandated to do asset declaration lets you know that we are not serious about fighting corruption. Somebody is about to take power from the presidential level all the way down. You're about to be playing with the Liberian people money, and you cannot tell the Liberian people what you own. You are hiding your property. So now when you leave in government and you now buy 10 houses and you got 20 buildings, you say, oh, I had it before I entered government. You're lying. But in order to fight and have transparent governments, every single person, and that's why I'm praying that God blesses us with the opportunity to lead this country. Every single government official appointed by me, before they even get a key, before they even enter the office, they will do asset declarations. They will show us all of the bank accounts. They will show us all of the property they and the immediate family have, so that we will know, and it will be updated every single year. We will know what you have coming into government so that we know what you have leaving government. If you're assistant minister and after 2 years you now build 3 or 4 high-rise buildings, we'll ask you how you got that money. Prove it to us. So we need asset declaration first. We also need special courts in this country. We need people who will focus only on corruption charges in this country. I said it before a few minutes ago. It's very difficult to name anybody who has gone to jail in Liberia for corruption. It doesn't happen in this country. Every time somebody steals in this country, we say Liberia, that elephant meat, that embezzlement, your leader, man, stupidity like that. And then we want corruption to stop. If we want to take corruption serious in this country, we arrest people. When we accuse somebody, let them be prosecuted. If they are found guilty, they have to serve mandatory minimum jail time. And then also, if you steal $1 million, you will pay that $1 million back. We'll sell your home, we'll sell your properties until that money goes back. Once we start doing that, Liberian people will say, my hand inside. They're taking the corruption thing serious. We are hard to hear, but we are quick to learn. We have to fight corruption by simply putting people in jail. That has been my recommendation from day one in government, and it will continue to be my recommendation. Let people go to jail in Liberia for corruption. We will minimize it in this country. When you talk about drugs and addiction in this country, I said it, a few minutes ago as well, and I'll say it again. What we need for the young people of this country to move them away from addiction is an opportunity. Nobody, and those disadvantaged youth, those Zogos and stuff like that, we can be saying, oh, Zogo came to my house at 3 a.m. to fish my phone. He would not be at your window 3 a.m. if he had to wake up at 6 a.m. to go get a job, to go do something, go make money. So in order to fight the addiction, the drug problem in this country, in order to fight it effectively, we have to give people opportunities. And the few people who are still addicted to drugs, not only do we need rehabilitation centers, but we can't just put somebody in a room for 20 days and say, okay, cancer now. While they're in the room, let's be teaching them a skill. Let's teach them how to be a tailor. Let's teach them how to be a carpenter. So when they get out, they can have something to look forward to, so they don't have to turn to drugs. Listen, I can't be clear enough. And so sometimes it can be frustrating for me, because I really want people to understand and see the passion that I have for this country. To fix Liberia is not a difficult thing. We just need the right leader to be able to point us in the right direction. And that's why I'm running for president. I will continue to say it, because I want Liberia to be better tomorrow than what we have today. Because the Liberia we have today is not good enough for us. The Liberia we have today is not good enough for the people of Liberia.
Okay, having said that,
No, I'll take my second question, my man.
okay, go ahead. Because
for your second question.
Go to the phone line.
I'll file protest.
I know you're coming to say that, man, I'm your childhood friend. Y'all used to play this thing. Go ahead.
I'm looking for a childhood friend everywhere.
Everybody not running for president, but you got JMB in support you. But you can't say JMB are your childhood friend.
No, my puppy there. My grandpa.
Okay,
No, the only thing I would tell Al is simple, and I would tell all the Liberian people this: don't make up your mind who you supporting until you listen to all of our platforms.
Yeah.
Platform.
I wish I would have asked you about our population who tend to not really vote on platform. I wish it was the case. It's frustrating me. I'm not saying that they don't pay attention, but most time our election are not decided based on platform. I mean, I'm sorry.
And that's why we have the country that we have right now.
I'm sure.
We got time coming up.
We'll get people like you in there. Hopefully, we can change it. But let me tell you something. How we can change it? I know you made a lot of good statement here, but one of the problems again Liberia is faced with is unemployment. Unemployment.
Yep.
Unemployment. We got too many young, a very youthful population. A lot of them nothing working. So, especially like I said, I'm on the youthful population. What specific policy programs will you implement to create jobs, opportunity, and improve the overall quality of jobs in the country?
The agriculture is the very foundation of improving jobs in this country. I talked about my agricultural policy. So there's two ways that will improve jobs in this country, where the young people of this country, the majority of the country, will have opportunity to work. The first one is again in agriculture. And the reason why sometimes I always repeat my answers, because it will not change today, tomorrow, next week, or when I get in office and we are delivering for the Liberian people. In agriculture, we have to be self-sufficient in our staple food of rice. So in order to do that, every single county in this country must be responsible to grow something. Lofa, Bong, Bomi, Bapulu, Cape Mount, places like that, you will grow all of the rice that the Liberian people will eat. You go to Nimba, you go to Granji there, you will grow cocoa cassava. You'll go to the southeast, bitter ball pepper, river cess, bassa, they grow, fruits, vegetables, anything of the sort. The reason I'm saying that is that who do we think will be growing those things? Who do we think will be in the fields? It will be the young people of Liberia who are just in Monrovia. All of them, by the time we start giving opportunities to the young people of Liberia in Grand Cru, they will pick up their bag and go there and work to make money. That's one way to do it. Ensure that Liberia is self-sufficient in our staple food of rice, and ensure that Liberia is feeding Liberians. Ensure that we are growing the food here in Liberia and not importing from Thailand. All we're doing when we import rice from India is employing Indians or employing Chinese or employing people in Asia. We have to be able to grow food in Liberia so that not only can we eat Liberian food, but that we are employing Liberians. That's one way to employ hundreds of thousands of Liberians. The second way is through education and my policy in making sure that everybody graduates from high school with 2 years of technical and vocational training. So that in one hand, you are holding a high school diploma, and in the other hand, you are holding a certificate in carpentry, in electrical work, in plumbing. That way, when 2 or 3 people graduate, they will say, I'm a carpenter, you're an electrician, you're a plumber. Let's go start our own business. Let's go build and develop Liberia. They would take the initiative to say, there's nothing to do here in Monrovia, but we're going to sign up to go build homes. We have to give the young people a skill. We can't just give them the education and say, go hustle for yourself. We have to give them a skill, something that they will be able to eat from, something that they will also be able to build this country. So those two things, if we were to do it and commit.
Dr.
Right.
Monomat. No, my question was not. No, I just want to make sure.
Badika, let me ask
want to
a
make
question.
sure he addressed the question, because there were some specifics that I did not hear, and I want to give him an opportunity. I said specifically new job, new opportunity. You mentioned agriculture. Agriculture is I don't know, talk about mechanized farming, whatever way you want to do it. But specifically, do you think that just by opening farms in the rural area going to attract the young people? We're talking about 2023. We're talking about the digital age, tech jobs, other things. Do you think, because I know some people, I was living in Liberia, some people would never go into the interior to farm. Everybody will not be attracted to farming. So how
some people won't. You're right. Some people won't, but the majority will. And more importantly, when somebody,
how do you intend to encourage them to draw them or to make them to have that interest? Those are some of the specific I wanted to use.
So just before you come in, the guys in the studio, if you will come back in studio, because after Ava, we're going to the phone lines to hear our people. Our people will have to contribute. Go ahead, Dr. Maniba.
Okay, so, and this is a very fine question. And again, I love the fact that we're having this type of discussion. I don't know if it will be interesting to the people who are listening, but from a policy standpoint, I'm very happy with all the questions that's being asked today. When you talk about drawing people in, let's not look at agriculture as just only going to the farm and digging production. So there's marketing as well in agriculture. Let's not forget that. There's skill development, there's technology that has to do with agriculture. You talked about mechanized farming. So you don't have to be in the farm wearing rain boots and digging. before you say you're a farmer. There's business opportunities in farming. We have to be able to create post-production, value addition. When we grow pineapples, Liberia has some of the best pineapples in the world. I've been blessed to go to almost 50 countries in my life. Liberia by far has some of the best pineapples. So there's opportunities to be able to export. There's business opportunities there. You have to create branding. You have to be able to negotiate, go to places such as Europe and America to negotiate to sell your pineapples there. So let's not just look at agriculture and say, oh yeah, the person will be on the farm. There's a whole world around it. There's whole technology around it, so that the Liberian people will be able to now go to farming. And I'm sure now from my answer, I've just got Al's vote. So he just texted me personally and said he is going to vote for me. So thank you very much.
Well, you got a big fight with
No, I
JSB.
believe you. I believe you. Let's go to Alpha Tupa so we can run to the lines. Alpha, over to you.
Thank you. Before I ask my questions, I got 2 points to make. The first is a sincere apology if my statement was construed as saying the Spoon platform is completely useless. I want to apologize to Stanton, to everybody who has been on here, and to the listeners. That was not the intent. Hopefully, I'll be able to go back and actually listen to the audio. And even if I have to reissue another apology, I will. So I'm sorry to all those people who felt hurt with the statement. The second thing I wanted to say, Dr. Monba, just piggyback a little bit on the whole LEC thing, is that in general, when a business that has huge profit potential is being mismanaged and not run properly, it's an attractive proposition for investors who have the ability to secure, to be able to handle power theft, to be able to handle some of the management issues, to be able to handle some of the derelict engineers or poor people they have who be selling the transmitters and stuff like that, who able to manage a team that can repair the the transmission and all of that kind of stuff. So hopefully, I think LEC is right now an attractive proposition to the right people, and privatization can be something that can be accomplished easily.
No, now, okay. Sorry, I was just going to say, please, Isaac, I was just going to say this. You're absolutely right. And in 2016, we put in the mechanisms that within 5 years, LEC was going to be in a position to go to the world and be able to be privatized. Now, I haven't been there since 2020, 2021, but the original plan was that by 2021, LEC was going to be in a position to be privatized. But I haven't been with LEC.
You're not responsible, and I'm holding you
responsible. So I don't know where they are, but that was the original plan that we ourselves put in 2016, that LEC will be privatized or in the position to be privatized by 2021. So you're absolutely right on that point.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. So no, I asked my question.
Okay, go ahead.
Jeez. So you are really aligned in a lot of ways with your policies, with where Mr. Cummings comes from in terms of the things he prioritizes. When it comes to agriculture,
Your hustle again.
No, we're not. We got options.
I like how you added him there.
Interrupted me, but man,
look, I agree with Eugene.
For Liberians, no, seriously, that's a serious thing, right? For Liberians to think that Jeremiah Kuhn is the limit, or Dr. Moniba is the limit for the potential vice presidential candidates in the country, that is, to me, is just asinine for people to think that. The pool of vice presidential candidates are huge. And I'm glad somebody like Dr. Moniba is talking about competency and abilities, not because you're of a tribal segment, that's why you attract people. So let's try to change the mind of our people to move to merit and competence and experience rather than...
I say your hustle for the man. The man say agree with me.
Okay,
your
he agreed. Anyway, Dr. Moniba, on agriculture, the point I was making is valid. I mean, there is a very strong value chain in agriculture that really can get us hundreds of thousands of jobs. Even look, from the fertilizer, from the fumigation, from the land clearing, from the farm preparation, from the consultancy, and all of that. But to get that, we got to get into a productive environment where people can realize the profitability of agriculture. So how do you build that? Because we have our own answers on our side. How do you build that level of public confidence in that we want to create a green economy towards agriculture and be able to make it attractive for the youth. Because you're right, technology, agriculture is big time. So how do we deploy or employ all those potential that can be attracted to our young population who would really need to carry the colors, because we know the old people can't carry the colors.
You had to bring that color in it here.
I said a man hustle you, but if I'm going to talk,
You had to
I'm
bring
going
the
to say
color
sincerity.
But let me answer my first question about big yo.
He brought colors now to the Loma man, Eric Bunny man. So
He's a young bunny man, young.
Bunny man said, "Memo, go crash."
For the last time, Eugene, and remember, I've been taking your advice. So everywhere I go now, I say, Clarence, pay him money back. So thank you very much for that advice.
Look at. Anyway, let's go ahead. The man hustle you hustle you.
Yeah, but this right now, that hustle ground here, because we are on the biggest platform, as you rightfully said, in Liberia. And so that's why, again, I'm proud to be on here and to be able to discuss the issues. Every time I've been blessed, every time I appear on a platform, especially such as this, God has blessed me that the Liberian people understand that we need to go into the direction of Dr. Moniba. It's very simple because we are very clear in how we want to lead our country. The other presidential candidates, it will be up to them to come on here and discuss in this manner. It will be up to them to be able to come on here and discuss how they want to move our country forward. So even with Isaac, I'm not even worried. By the time we get to July, August, you will see Isaac switching over camps. But let me try to answer. Let me try to answer his question. And you talked about how do we attract people into the agriculture space, right? First, I think it's very easy in the sense of this. The young people of this country are frustrated. You think everybody want to be driving pempen and keke and everything around it. No, they do not. It's just the only opportunity that they have. So us attracting people to the agriculture sector is not difficult. We just have to give the opportunity and the space. Because again, when you go to agriculture, you can say, oh, I'm a business major, but you can also focus on business and agriculture. You can do export, you can do post-production, you can do branding, you can do computer work, you can do, you can specialize in building farmhouses. Let me tell you something. Like even right now, the fact that Liberia has to import eggs into this country, that we have to import chicken into Liberia, is shameful. Do we know that last year we spent $7 million importing pepper from Guinea? Are you trying to say that Liberian people cannot grow pepper? So I don't think it would be difficult attracting people to come and work in the agriculture sector. You can work in the agriculture sector and not one day see a farm. So it will not be difficult to attract people. But in order to do that, we have to give people the skill. And that's why I keep reverting back to the fact that everybody graduating high school must have some type of technical and vocational training. We have to be able to encourage all of our high schools, and I went to SBS, School of Prime Systems today. I am so very proud of the work that is being done at that school. I cannot explain what Mrs. Scott is doing. She has all of the students involved in agriculture. They have a beautiful campus, and she is teaching the middle schoolers how to farm. That's what every single teacher, principal should be doing. Every single school should have our young people learning how to grow tomatoes. They grow their own food. They eat their own food there. That's a perfect example of what we should be doing. So, and I'm proud to say I'm also an alumni of SPS, School of Prime Systems, because this is what we should be doing to teach the young people of this country. So to attract people into agriculture is not difficult. They will see the opportunity and they will go there. The similar thing, we need better carpenters in Liberia. We need better painters in Liberia. We need better mechanics in Liberia. We need better caterers in Liberia. We need better of everything. And so that's why the opportunities have to be widespread in agriculture, in education, in technical training, in vocational training.
Thank you. My second question, one important pillar of Mr. Cummings is engaging the hearts and minds of Liberia, and that is cross-cutting across all sectors of our country, all demographic of our country, and making it an inclusive governance system. So we have several, I don't want to say behavior problems, but we got several mindset issues that need to be changed. take a top 3 things that you as president would try to do to change the mindset of the Liberian people, to try to improve our moral fabric, or our culture, or anything in that respect.
The tradition of Liberia is so strong, and I'm so proud of the tradition of Liberia. The challenge, and please, I want to hope I understood your question. And so please stop me if I'm going the wrong direction, because it cut out a little bit. But, the tradition of Liberia is so strong. What kind of disappoints me, to be honest with you a little bit, is during Christmas time, when you don't see the people going around dancing and, like just celebrating the culture of this country. Liberia, the challenge we somewhat have in this country is that we are more tribalistic than nationalistic. And the example I will give is just go to SKD when Lone Star is playing somebody. The stadium is almost always half empty. But let Lofa play Nimba. Let River G play Sino. You will see the stadium overflowing, people with pride, people so excited, cheering on their team. Oh, Damakante. They are proud of it, but we are not proud of our country. Why is that? So that's why when we start talking about the morality of Liberia and why a lot of people enter government just to steal, it's because we look at Liberia as the place to gain from and not to sacrifice from. We look at Liberia or government as the place that elephant meat, you cut your own, you eat your own, you move from there, you're not going to jail, nobody will get you in trouble. I remember when I was in government and people would try to come to me and would say, no, my hand not inside. People would actually say, oh, my man, that injury time here. What does that mean?
So what kind of time is right now for the government? Like, what's the injury time?
Oh, that's more injury time. that extra, that
penalty. I'm not letting you carry on. We'll go into the full lap because the other time you have extra time. The time we in right now, injury time, extra time now. 6 more months to go. After the 6 months, they give all and a drug you do go NBC. So, Baron, you've heard everybody. The Liberian people listen to everybody. You heard Isaac took my apologize to the people for calling their platform. I don't know what gonna need. He said tomorrow say he will beg the people. I think what happened, nobody called Isaac. Isaac just saw the people just giving it to him for the platform.
You calling me a liar now?
I said liar. I said the people play with you.
Nobody. No, that's wrong. Don't insult me.
I insult. Oh, see, what is the topic? You are here, Jenna. I think Isaac saw the people giving it to him. He said no. If you misunderstood me, but what he said?
Look, listen. The people were even cussing me before I even came on the show. So the party people, yeah, but that's not a problem. My skin tough. But when 1 or 2 other people are sensitive about this, you got to understand their feelings and react to it. Okay.
But that's why I said that the people platform you are talking about. So let's go to the people. Let's go to the Liberian people. It's their platform. They own it. It is the biggest platform in the country. It is theirs and nobody, not even me or my people, can take it from them. Let's go listen to them. Folks, Dr. Maniba is in studio. You heard him. You heard what he had to say. He told you why he's running for president. Your man is Dr. Maniba. Talk to him.
Good evening.
Good evening, my dear brother. How are you doing?
Well, we are okay. This is Spoon Talk. What is your name and where do you call from?
Cooper Elijah, calling from District 4.
Okay, Cooper.
Good evening to Spoon family. And moreover to our studio guest, Dr. Karen Moroba. Our incoming president, welcome.
Thank you very much.
My prayer to this nation is, Liberia, we are not yet got leader. Liberia, God will give us leader in this country. Yes, that's my prayer. I can see it. That's my prayer. Liberia, we ain't got leader here. If we get leader, it will take us a few seconds. This country will really be improved equal to other countries. We'll be proud of the country. Look at what the example is showing. How can a nation will be playing a football, another nation, the host it will be quiet? If country playing country, they will be happy because of the people that are grieving. Thank you, my dear brother.
Thank you very much. And let me announce the numbers: 0777 1075 0555 5101075. This person. Good evening. Hello. This is Spoon Talk. What is the name?
Hello.
Can you please walk away from your monitor, please?
Hello.
Yes, welcome. This is Spoon Talk.
Yeah, thank you ever so much. My name is Jay calling from Benin Farm, Omega.
Okay.
Anyway, I tell you, our president, thank you ever so much. But I want to ask a question.
Who your president?
To me, sir?
Who your president?
That's a Clarence Moliva.
But he's not president.
Incoming president.
Okay, that's it.
I want to know, you mentioned about agriculture.
The man give me a vote, then you want to take the vote from him?
Go ahead.
Yeah, you mentioned about agriculture. I want to know your backyard garden. Whether you have at least 50 or 100% working on you, if you ever get backyard garden.
Okay. All right. I think he's taking note. This person, good evening. Good evening. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Welcome to Spoon Talk.
Yeah, my name is Woji CK Republic Defender. Yeah, to your studio guest, Dr. Clarence Moriba, I want to call him Gorgias, father of righteous. Bossman, I want to kindly appeal to you. I've listened to your manifesto and it's in line with that of Sister Imam Baka, Recuse Mon. So I'm kindly appealing to you to join him in rescuing Mama Liberia. Your time will come. Please, thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening. Good evening.
I want to say,
hello. Yes, welcome to Spoon Talk.
This is Asset calling from Tuboro. Yeah, I want to say thanks to Clarence, I think for the institute at the attention of putting from one country I reside in Moldova. So I in it again. My food is for him.
Okay.
So let you rest assured. I'm going to move the last on my own to get people on board.
Okay. Thank you. Well, let us go to Jeans Good from more Jeans. You are muted, Jeans.
Good evening.
Good morning from my end.
Yes, sir.
Yes, my name is Joel Tucker. I'm part of the Spoon FM from North Cyprus.
Yeah,
I want to say thank you to Dr. Clarence in studio. I have a question for him, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, my question has to do with I overheard him talking about fighting corruption. And looking at Dr. Moluba, he was someone who served before during the regime of Madame Seli. And looking at some of the analysis of her son Robert Seli in My Hindering Our Economy, if he is to fight corruption, will he be able to prosecute his political grandmother?
Okay. You got your question, sir. Let me get this. Hello. Hello. Let's just wait.
Folks, you're listening to Spoon
let's do this
FM TV online platforms as well. We have with us our guest, Dr. Clarence Moniba. You have the opportunity to interact, ask him your questions. He's taking notes.
Please mute your receiver.
Yes, I needed it.
Okay.
Thank you. Hi,
yeah.
I just wanted to say thank you to Dr. Moniba. I just have a quick question. I was waiting to see if he was going to mention this, but he didn't mention it at all. I don't think, unless I didn't hear him.
Please call your name and where are you calling from?
Illinois. My name is Eugenia, calling from Illinois. I wanted to know about the trash issue in Liberia. We know that we don't really have anything in place, and with trash all over the place, it leads to a lot of diseases. I learned that your daughter has a trash company, but it's geared towards just the elite, if it's even still running. So I wanted to know what would be his plan to solve that trash issue. Thank you.
All right, let me get this. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Your name and where you calling from?
My name is I'm calling from the Republic of Ghana.
Okay, make your point quickly. 1 minute.
Yeah, I just listened to Dr. Clarence Moniba, and I want to appreciate him for his elaboration on the issues of Liberia.
Mm-hmm.
But my major question are two. So I would like to know, Dr. Moniba, what differentiates you from Alexander Corner?
Okay. Okay, I think his question was what differentiates you from Cummings? I lost him.
James, can we take some local calls at least?
Go ahead, switch to local calls.
Yeah, go ahead, Baron. Go ahead.
This person, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, this is the biggest platform in Liberia. What is your name and where do you come from?
I'm Joe Morba, calling from Niku Town.
Yes, Morba.
Yeah. The first thing on the table, some people on the platform there. How to go not fabric radio. This radio is carry your name all around that. They set up here America there. Right now they're having the program
My
on.
man, you find lead that thing, lead the gossip stuff.
I will beg you, talk about the thing we're talking about, Chief.
Talk about what we are talking, yeah.
That's
Go ahead.
tomorrow. That's tomorrow. I heard that you are part of the early protocol. Early is the one that encouraged you to get in the race, embarrass Joseph Boakai from Lufa County, because you are from Lufa County too. I want you to get clarity if Ellen is supporting you.
Okay, thank you very much. Is Alice Johnson supporting you? This is a question. Hello. Yes, this is Spoon Talk.
Okay. Thank you for the platform this evening. This is M.I. Ketulia from you from this for Monserrato.
Yeah, Monserrato County. Welcome.
I just say thank you to the studio guest, Dr. Mova. Thank you for your platform. It's really important. And with the young people we are here to see how best we can work. But my question is, how bad have you gone to do your election this day, especially from this country? Thank you.
You got the question? Can you please repeat?
I'm saying,
mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, how far you have gone with the selection in the various country, in the district, so for people to get on a ticket, and for district number 2, local country, whether you are getting somebody on that ticket.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Jeans. Why are Jeans?
Let me get this quarter. Hello?
Yeah, hello?
Yeah, quickly, your name and where you calling from?
James, am I live?
You are live, Chief.
Okay, this is Ohaji Tiger. I'm in Nigeria. I always follow this show. Let me first of all greet you, our guest, and their fellow panelists. I don't have much to say. It is unfortunate tonight, as I always follow your show, a responsible man, someone that most of us respect, Abat, something, I don't know his last name.
He already apologized.
On your show.
He apologized, Chief.
No, it's bad.
Yeah, let's just forget it.
Come on the public head and insult the entire network and insult we the followers of this network. It is very sad.
Yeah.
No matter what happens, politics is politics. Election will come and go. What you do today, they will remember you tomorrow. Thank you, James. As he apologized, that's good. We accept it.
All right, thank you. Good evening. Hello? Okay. Hello? Your name and where you joining us from? Hello? Please don't hold a line. You have many people trying to call. When you hold a line, it becomes terrible.
Can we take some local calls?
I'm coming, Baron. Hello.
How you doing? How you doing, James? Good day.
I'm okay. Your name and where you joining
I want
us
to
from?
extend my greeting to everybody in studio, and I want to also extend my greeting to the guest, Mr. Monuba. And I think from all indications, he really love Liberia. But I have one concern. I think one disappointment in his whole entire deliberation when he said that he's most qualified and he cannot go as vice president. I think he's heading in Mr. Kumi's direction. This is what led to Mr. Kumi's self-destruction. When Joe Biden served as vice president to Barack was not more qualified than Joe Biden. But sometimes, in the interest of your country to serve your country, you have to accept what the Liberian people want. If the Liberian people want, if the Liberian people want him to serve as vice president, I think he has no option. To say that he's the most qualified and he cannot go as vice president, I think it's equivalent to Mr. Kumi's self-discussion that is suffering that even up to now, to find vice president is almost like finding a gold dust or finding a diamond. Thank you very much.
All right. Let me get this. Hello. Okay. Baron, I'm coming. Let me just conclude. Hello. Your name, where you calling from?
After this, one more from your side, then we'll go to Baron.
My name is Momo Tula, and I'm calling from Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, go
I
ahead.
want to say hi to a good friend of mine in studio, Dr. Clarence Monumba. I've heard all he had to say. He got a very good platform. And what I want to urge Liberians, and I'm a strong proponent of qualified young men getting into politics. And Dr. Clarence Monumba has clearly demonstrated, how qualified he is and how ready or how prepared he is to serve as president of the Republic of Liberia. Liberians have the choice come October to make a decision, to make a sound decision if they want to see that country move in the direction that Moneyba has talked about. We need a serious change. We need complete renaissance in that country. We need people to understand that Liberia is not owned by a certain group of politicians, especially those who recycle politicians.
Okay, sir.
We want to ensure that Liberia, to end, we want to ensure that Liberia gets that leadership that she deserves. Liberia has been going through a lot for years, for decades.
Thank you. The number is right on the screen here, moving the WhatsApp number is the international number. We've been doing it.
So
Hello?
can we take two now? After this one, we'll take two from Liberia, and Dr. Moneyba will have the opportunity to respond.
All right, sir. Let me get this. Hello. Hello. Chief, you are low. You have to. Okay, let me get this caller. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, please lower your monitor, please.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Go ahead. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Danny Jones, and I'm calling from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Make a point, Chief.
My question goes to Dr. Modiba. I want to thank you for your deliberation, very clear and sound, straight to the point. You talk about the issue of qualified generational change. And you said that you were brought in by the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf government and promoted. Where were you when Ellen Johnson Sirleaf took the lowest caricature of a stereotypical Liberian politician as the standard bearer for the generational change she wanted in Liberia?
All right.
We go to Baron now for two more from Liberia. And we'll go over to Dr. Clarence Moneyba to take us home with his parting comments.
Good evening.
Good evening.
To whom am I speaking?
You're speaking with Tio Abraham Thomas.
Okay,
from
Tio.
District number 5.
All right. Tio?
So, Colin Moba, welcome. And appreciate you well for your platform. But
for us, I don't think we will support you this time around in Lofa County because, one, once you come in with the hands of Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, we will deny. But that doesn't mean that we will not support you tomorrow. But because Ellen Johnson hand is behind you, we will not. We're going to get the support of JMB this time around. Secondly, you deny Kumi support, offer as a running mate. As you're right, you denied somebody yesterday, so somebody has to deny him today. Thank you for that.
All right, thank you very much. And the last caller from my end. Good evening.
Hello?
Yes, good evening.
How are you?
I'm okay.
How are you? It's a Gomo M. Tomorrow speaking from Jakarta.
Jakarta.
All the honor, all your students giving, all touch me to my heart. I'm a higher worker. I grew up in agriculture. My father was poor. My father was poor. All your religion, I enjoy it a lot. So how it to be? And the minute the fight the former president, I can't say, but I heard the name from you, by you, it makes me very sour. You are just well educated. Your father was disciplining them at the front. I know it was either to talk to people or we will bring your father with, but Balaseli, he becomes destroyer to Nigeria.
Thank you.
Next oil today we would have had job for our bedroom.
All right, thank you. Thank you. We have to go to Minister Fagon. Yes.
Thank you very much. And now we'll go over to Dr. Clarence Moneyba. Dr. Moneyba, you heard your people. Your people spoke directly to you. Some of them asked you questions. Some of them gave you an advice. You heard them all. We will now turn the microphone over to you to address your people on their platform, and they'll have the opportunity now to listen to you.
No, so thank you so much for the questions that came in. I feel very honored and proud when people call in and express their support or excitement in terms of what vision I have for this country. I will first address the issue about, and I would be light in calling it nonsense. Simply because I worked in Ellen government means that Ellen told me to run. This is the thing that really, so that caller who called and everybody who's telling me that Ellen is supporting me, everybody who's calling and telling me that Ellen, once again, that's the frustration that we wonder why we have the country we have. Yes, I worked in Ellen's government. So did Boyka. So does that mean that Ellen is also supporting him? So this is I would just say the nonsense that people try to do to link me to somebody because they have nothing on my character. Nobody can sit here and say I'm not educated for the position of president. Nobody can sit here and say I don't have the character or the vision for the position of president. Nobody can sit here and say I have any stigma of corruption or anything of the sort for the position of president. So the only thing the opposition can link me to is that fact that because I worked in Ellen's government, so therefore she must be supporting me. People who think like that do not have respect for themselves. I have sacrificed for this country in a multitude of ways. I'm working for this country. I want to lead this country so that we can have a great country. Not because somebody is telling me what to do. I'm a man for myself. I have been, working towards the development of Liberia. And so again, please take your, Ellen supporting me and think, please, just take it. That's the only part that really bothers me when people say that, because that's saying I don't have a mind of my own, which is the most disrespectful thing to me. When we talk about all of the questions that were asked, I was trying to go down through some of them. In the first caller who said, God give us a leader. You're right. Liberia is looking for a leader now who has the energy, the education, the ability to lead this country. I truly believe that I present the Liberian people with the best opportunity to transform this country in as short as possible as time. I believe and I hope that when people see me and they listen to me, they see the future of Liberia. They see a better Liberia for our country where our resources are enjoyed by all 5 million people. But in order to get a good leader, you must vote. You must be able to vote. And again, don't vote for somebody because they've been around for a long time. Don't vote for somebody because they're not run before. Don't vote for somebody because the person popular. Vote for somebody because you believe that person can lead the transformation of Liberia. So yes, God will give us a good leader, but we all as individual citizens must be able to listen over the next 5 months to who we think can lead this country, who we think has the ability to lead this country, and then vote for that person. Somebody talked about, personally for me, we have a Moneybar Foundation, moneybarfoundation.org. People can go on there. We've contributed and supported several farms. Our farming program was mostly in Lofa, to be honest with you, but we've supported several farms, several villages in buying seedlings and equipment and everything for people. But the reason I'm running for president is not just to help 2 or 3 villages, not just to help 50 farmers. The reason I'm running for president is so that our entire country can become a farming and agriculture nation. And you can only do that from the seat of the executive. And that's why I'm running for president, so that everybody can benefit from this country and not just a few people. We've had our foundation for years, since 2009, 2010. But it is not good enough to transform the lives of every single Liberian. And that's why I'm running for president, so that we can do so that we can empower more people than just a few villages or a few towns. I always like, when people talk about the Sirleaf government, in the sense of, will I be able to prosecute? The first thing I want to make very clear is that I fully support the War and Economic Crimes Court. I will say it again. I fully support not only the war, but also the Economic Crimes Court in Liberia. We have to be able to hold people accountable. When I first started talking, I told people there are 2 issues in this country. We do not implement in Liberia, and we do not hold people accountable. We have to be able to change that if we want to change our country. So not only do I fully support a War and Economic Crimes Court, but I would also want to include my administration in it. So I tell people, yes, I worked in the Ellen Sirleaf government. The former vice president also worked in that government. Several other people, several good meaning Liberians worked in that government. All of us should be audited. We should be open to an audit of our offices. All of us should be able to account for the work we did for the Liberian people and be held accountable if we did not do the Liberian people right. So, that's all I would say about that. I tell people also, you cannot blame me, for wrongs in previous administrations. Blame me for the work I was doing in government. And I'll tell you again, the work I did in government, I would focus on infrastructure development. I would focus on making sure that the Lofa Road that is currently being built was secured in terms of financially. I would focus on making sure that the ELWA road that is being built right now, we had the finances to secure it. I would focus on making sure that the Somalia-Japanese road was built. The Red Light Banga Ganta Highway was built. That's what I focused on. So judge me on that. Somebody talked about the issue of trash in this country. You're absolutely right. This country is shameful when you walk around the Republic of Liberia, and more specifically, our capital city. Everybody got so mad at the ambassador the last time when he called Liberia dirty. It is. We have to be able to do a better job. The challenge and the issue we have right now in cleaning the city of Monrovia is we don't have enough recycling centers. We don't have enough trash places in the country. We have to be able to take the dirt from all these places and take it outside of the city in Marshall area and have recycling centers, places we can throw the trash, places we can compact the trash. We need better equipment in the country. Right now, if I'm not mistaken, we are still renting dump trucks. The Monrovia City Corporation does not have enough equipment to clean the city. They don't have enough money to provide fuel for the truck to be able to move the trash. They do not hire enough people to be able to clean the streets. That's an operational problem. These are things that can be fixed. You go to other countries that are clean. Liberia can become clean if the right policies is in place, if the right leadership is in place. Is there any other major question? I hope I didn't miss any other major question. But listen, I just
No, you didn't, and we'll just go to you now, closing and speaking directly to your people for the next 2 minutes or so.
I'm sorry, Eugene, say that again.
You answer all of the questions. We'd like for you to just give us your closing comments.
Again, thank you so much for the opportunity to be able to come here and talk to the Liberian people. As you said, this is the biggest platform in Liberia, so I'm proud to be able to participate on this
But man,
program.
you
I look
complaining
forward to.
people today again, and to be quite frank with you, I'm straightforward with people. You probably need to be paying because whenever you come there, you take. If you go back, you can just count the people who say you got my vote, you got my vote, and then when you come here, it's like a platform. You take away these hundreds of people, and that's your second time, and it's like you got no.
No,
Anyway, go ahead.
but
Give us your closing comments.
only God will bless you. Only God can bless you. Listen, but honestly, but you know why I like coming on this platform? And I talked about this being my third radio interview today. But the reason why I like coming on this platform, like we said, because it's national, it's broad based. And I truly believe that the only way we do not win these presidential elections is if people do not hear us. If people hear us, they will understand the passion we have, they will understand the qualifications we have, the education we have, the experience we have. They will understand that we have the ability to transform this country and change this country right now. I tell people when they look at me, I hope they see the future of Liberia. I hope they see a better and brighter Liberia. I hope they understand that Liberia can be a great country one day, and it is up to us to make it great. I hope they understand that you should not vote for somebody just because you voted for them before. You should not vote for somebody because they've been around for a long time. You should not vote for somebody because the person is popular. Vote for somebody who you truly believe in your heart can transform and change this country. So thank you for this opportunity. I pray and I hope that the Liberian people will continue to listen. Don't make your decision today. Don't even make your decision next month. Continue to listen to us. Continue to see us on the campaign trail to see if we are consistent. Continue to give us the ability to sell our dreams and our vision for the country. And then you will start to understand and realize that, that we provide the best alternative, the first true alternative in Liberia. I'm proud to say that we are ranking very high. There's so much support, as Eugene even mentioned, there's so much support. Every single day we gain hundreds and hundreds and thousands of voters every single day. I'm proud to say that by the time we get to October 10th, we'll have enough support because there are good meaning Liberians who want to see a better country, and they will come on board and they will see that we have the ability to finally and once and for all transform Liberia. So thank you everybody so much. God bless us. God bless Spoon TV for giving everybody this platform, for everybody doing such a great job on here, bringing the issues to the Liberian people. And we'll continue to work. We'll continue to work for the voice of the Liberian people. And the one thing I always promise all our supporters is that we will not let you down. We will work for you. We will prove to you that Liberia can be a great country. Thank you very much.
And quickly before you leave, you said you're in the third spot. That means you recognize the other two ahead of you. Who are they?
I think, as we go about, traditionally, we understand that we are and boycott right now. Obviously, they've been running for a longer period of time since, essentially on and off since 2004. But I believe that as people continue to listen to us talk, our platform, that we'll be able to enter the second round. So we'll be able to overcome one of them, we hope. And we are confident on the campaign plan that we have put together. We are confident on the message we have put together. And the fact that we are in the third place, we feel confident about the next 5 months and what we'll be able to do to convince the Liberian voters that we will be able to win these elections.
Thank you very much. The son of former Vice President Dr. Harry Fumba Moniba. His name is Dr. Clarence Behe. He's Bandi Behe Moniba. Himself, former Minister of State and a very decent gentleman.
I went to school with one of your brothers.
For president in the Republic of Liberia. What you want to say? You want me to make your childhood friend?
No, I went to school with one of his brothers, the shorter one.
I've seen him winning his vote, so he can talk to me. I've seen him winning his vote. He can talk to me anytime he wants.
Well, man, I know how to get to you.
That two childhood friend man get.
Ask Lloyd. Lloyd, you know Lloyd, right?
Oh, but Lloyd, I'm a man. Lloyd actually listening, so I will make sure we get to you.
Oh, Lord, listen, can you say he abandoned me, boy? You know where I will catch you.
But man, now
I
you
will
have
catch
come
you
in
in the
go
other
who
room.
here. It's 6:50 now. We're going to.
But let me ask the man one last question now.
No. Wait, keep the question for next time. I mean, the man will come back.
Question.
You can't spend everything here today because that you
All right,
talking your family
I will
talk.
leave it.
Let's
No
keep
problem.
it on the next time.
I will be back in
the man
a
will
few
not come
weeks.
back.
No problem. I'll get to you. Yeah.
The man will come back next time. Keep it. Don't use all today. Then the man
No,
will
we're not
come
using
back.
everything. We'll keep it. You gotta come on.
Keep some for next time. Thank you very much, Dr. Maniba, and we look forward to seeing you again.
Okay, thank you very much.
When I go over to Colonel Iwemi Gray, who is going to talk to us, I'm not going to close. I yield my time to Iwemi Gray to close on my behalf also.
All right, gentlemen. Thing is, I think Dr. Maniba was great, and as usual, normally when he comes and discusses the issues, and that is exactly what we need as a country. But I say that to suggest that when I was stopped to come on Spoon, I was not tapped because of my political conviction. And nobody say, come on Spoon, you can't talk about your political conviction, whether it's the ANC or whether it's the Unity Party or whether it's CPP and so on and so forth. But there's a cultural misfit that is hunting us as a people. Barely would you confront someone and say, show me the ID card for your religion, and someone goes in their pocket and say, I'm Christian, here's my ID card. Neither would someone come to you and ask you for your church ID card, because those are philosophical passion. Nobody should be labeling you because you believe in something. And what I've seen here on Spoon is the fact that people label you thinking that you have certain conviction politically. And this is where it takes us to where Dr. Maniba was talking about. When you have a national game involving the Lone Star, the field will be empty. But the moment you identify a county, it will be jam-packed with citizens. And we transcribe that same attitude to our ethnic background. Some of us were denied weapon in spite of our professionalism, in spite of what we learned within the military. Some of us were trained as tacticians, some of us were trained as weapon specialists, some of us were trained as communication specialists. But all of that was not important, but your tribe. You were disadvantaged, dispossessed, simply because what you did not make arrangement for your tribe to come into this world, particularly through Liberia. You understand? You were held accountable for it. People were maimed, bastardized, and massacred based on a tribe that they did not put them upon themselves. And I see that, coming up here. Now we'll transition that into our political identity. Believe me, if you're going to tell me come on Spoon and talk about ANC, I wouldn't. This is not the right platform for it. I would have gone to an ANC platform and preach ANC. Matter of fact, the reason why some of us will look at the issue rather from the center as opposed to from the political perspective, I'm able to come in and say, I think Joe Barker is leaning towards the forefront. As a result, you understand, the wave of success is moving towards him. I'm able to say that because you know what? I am not tied to a political party. Those are ideological beliefs. And when people begin to pin you, and now even your appearance on Spoon should be, if you subscribe to a certain political organization, don't come on a certain day, and so on and so forth. I think Thomas Hobbes, if you read English philosophy, will tell you that that is the state of nature. That is where the animal will see somebody, like a lion will say, you are within my den, therefore I must chase you down and tear you apart. We are beginning to reduce ourselves to that level where we're becoming animalistic, not in a in a derogatory way, but Mr. Fango, I think when I come here, I'm not coming here because I'm ANC. I'm coming here because I feel that I have some information to share that others can learn from. That is more primary to it, that is more cursory to me as opposed to my political affiliation. I don't even have a political badge in my pocket, just as I will not have a religious badge in my pocket if someone were to ask me for my ID card for my religion. I don't have one because you know what? Philosophically, I can change, I can pivot. But when I come here and people begin to align you because of your own political affiliation, that was what led Mo Ali to come on this platform yesterday and discuss. Look, when I left the United States, all the opportunity, I had more than 10 houses that I bought as a real estate agent that I was renting to different people. My monthly income was so large. I left that for $2,000 a month. That is 1 week, less than 1 week what I make 1 week. And I went to Liberia. I went to a place where I did not even have access to cell phone because once you cross Douala Market, you start losing signal. I will go and sit myself in a county, all because of sacrifices for country. I made sacrifices as well joining the military. But at the end of the day, because we are so much who we are, in the tongue of Thomas Hobbes, that we have become so animalistic that we identify people, whether it's a national cause, they identify with your political party, they identify with your religion, they identify with your tribe, and for that reason, people will vehemently hit the ground you stand on, whether or not you're saying the truth. My brother, this is where some of us are feeling bad for even transitioning to a country called Liberia, because we are not going to stop being that way for a long time. We are not going to stop being that way for a very, very, very long time, because you know what? Generations upon generation are being taught that lesson. As a result, everybody sees you. You know, when they say ANC, some people, their skin cringe. When it says CDC, some people they are screaming cringe. So when we win political office, we'll go there because we see the other guy, irrespective of his education, his knowledge, what he brings, the resources he brings to the table, all that is immaterial. Because of his political affiliation, he cannot serve his country any longer. That is where I hope that we should move from someday. And I respectfully submit, as you say, Mr. Fangon.
Thank you very much. That was heartwarming. We'll go to Al Hussein Fadiga. You are taking us home. You ready? Give us that offensive.
I want to congratulate Dr. Richardson. Her daughter graduated today. A lot of graduates. Yeah, look, so pretty. Congratulations. Our kids, look, I've said something the other day, we're not paying attention. The girls are doing wonder. The beginning getting interested in the country. We need to start doing something. I won't talk.
We need to start beating the beginning for real.
That's what I won't say about trying. I want Facebook to understand it. Because honestly, our boys' children are doing well in this country. I don't know what's going on, but a lot of them, they causing trouble in the country. But the girls are doing well.
Before you close us, we say congratulations to her.
Congratulations.
Let me tell you this. When you see them wearing a trouser halfway on their butt or telling you they got to plait their hair, my brother.
That they plaiting hair. So you know that so many mothers can start plaiting their children hair from the beginning and have always warned them. They think they can be, well, I want that whole show could do that. I want you to say,
that's why
that's why I had our politics because I put my money in there, will not go to there.
But going to school.
They're born in there, they won't be something. But let me say this. I woke up this morning and I felt bad. I almost went, I had a podcast last night, but I stopped. But look, this election's going to be, we got people like Clarence Moneyback, we got a lot of great people. Honestly, when you look in the opposition, we have a huge pool, a minefield of competent individuals that could be president, and I think they will do very well for our country. It is unfortunate we have what we have right now, thanks to the Dawo interference. But we can make that history. But what really pissed me off and tipped me off this morning, and I know some of you folks will get mad at me, is the hypocrisy with our friend within the CPP. I know I have preached about opposition unity, and I still stand by that. But we have to call a spade a spade. What is going on is bad. We need you guys later, so we do not want you guys to fade away and be punished politically. But what you guys are doing, look, the reason why, and now I'm starting to understand it was difficult for Ambassador Boyka, and this is my opinion. It had nothing to do with something that I've heard from Ambassador Boyka, but I think it is about the level of arrogance that come with. I want to say Mr. Comey because I don't think, but I think he got some air of arrogance and based on certain things, yeah. But with the team, they got this air of arrogance that sometimes can be very detrimental. These guys, we saw George Wisner here yesterday. We heard Louis Brown that went in a small little newspaper to make a press release to call the incoming vice president a bit, calling them names and something. Yes, a man that won legislative election in Liberia 3 times. Now 1, now 2, 2 times as representative, 1 time as senator. Say whatever you want about this man. The fact that this man can have Liberians voting for him once, twice, 3 times in the legislature, and you want to discount him and say that he's irrelevant, you guys, the timeline, nothing makes sense. You're trying to put out this lie. I saw my good friend George on another platform trying to justify. The more you justify, there are so many better things you can do with this. You give 10 pickups to this nobody, to this irrelevant person. You give him 10 pickups. Stop the lies. If your campaign is based on principle, if your campaign is based on clean hands, then you need to stop the hypocrisy, because the Liberian people can see it. And this is a free advice that I'm giving you guys. You guys are trying too hard on the obvious. You clearly know that there is nobody. We have very little few options when it comes to VP pick. Very few options. If you were not Coon, it would probably be or something. Now you guys got I heard Western got Finlay, 2 other people, Cyril Beslow and the other guy, 2 people. It is wrong. You spend all this time trying to make Coon look appear irrelevant. You went after the guy. You guys were crying on your belly to talk to this guy. You wanted him. It's just that Omen Burka happened to be the one that took him. Accept it. There's nothing wrong, no shame in it, but to denigrate this guy because he had affiliation with Prince Johnson, it is hypocritical. The Liberian people tired with that story. They're tired. It's about time that you guys face the people. Tell the people we reached out
30
to him.
seconds.
It didn't work out. We're moving on to someone else. But to sit down and try to spin it, you can't post spin on live. Prince Johnson was inducted in 2021. You met the man just last year and this year. And then you're saying, oh, we want to so. You knew all of those things. You turned around, you went back to Nyombri. Nobody clean in Liberia. My own pastor sister, I'm not saying she's something, but I want you guys to be sincere. If you want people to take you seriously, your words should mean you should say what you mean and let us not deeds, not words. Clean hair is just words. Let it be marked by your deeds and action. And we tired with the hypocrisy and the lies. Be sincere to the Liberian people.
Thank you very much. And Liberians, if you're watching and you're looking on your screen right now, the man who headed the whole harmonization issue, Del Francis Ray, a day ago, posted this on his page. If you go there now, you will see it. He posted, today no civil servant earns less US 150 gross monthly salary, unlike 5 years ago when more than 20,000 civil servants earned below $150. We are cursed. Numbers don't lie. I don't know what the offense is reading. Your president goes to the legislature and say over 15,000 people. Jim, don't do your hand like that. Ain't see it? When I be telling you, Leah, that we are own problem.
Is this the red from Legis?
No, Adele from Ministry of Finance.
No, man. I think somebody using his phone. Please confirm.
No, I think somebody used their phone.
Yeah, because somebody using his phone.
You can see the man in there, Dale.
Yeah, somebody used his phone.
Somebody hacked in.
Yeah.
You hear the people demonstrating everywhere. They're making $45. Then you go, you post that kind of thing. And the president going to the legislature, went to the legislature, told the Liberian people, oh, you're sorry, oh, my finance minister just told me over 15,000 people making less than the minimum wage. Then you can't put that in here. Then put the finance minister up. Let's get to un prescapor. See prescap. No. Prescapor. You will see that. I think I put it there. I put it there. You put it up. Yeah. There was no RIA highway. That is first line. There was no RIA highway. You get RIA highway or you get RIA road. Theft trap. He said, construction on the way. Number 14 military hospital. That you, every day Saliman to tell you about that hospital. That you bring that hospital. No Emory hospital. Okay, we agree. But it working now. No modern market structures. Oh, the one that other poor bill, it will not equal to your own. That one will not lie. But people selling inside or they still going to sell on the road. People get money inside to go sell inside. No free housing unit. Where you get a free housing unit? When you pay 15 houses, you cancel it top. No massive road construction. What a massive road construction. You finish it now? No 800 million budget. You make 800 million budget, but you can't pay your people $50. You stay paying them $25 and $30. And they fighting you whole day. No tuition-free policy. Tuition-free policy where? At the university? And they ain't got a chair to sit down on? Which other school beside the universities and public colleges got tuition-free? Bring that can show it. No wise fees payment for 12 graders. You pay the wise fee. But are you made them reach 12th grade? No sports park. Are who going to play there? Please, man. Folks, nice having you all. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you, Al Hussein. Thank you, Conor Gray. Thank you, Gude. Thank you, Baron. And all our hard-working crew and the people of Liberia. Thank you.
Chairman Brown. Chairman Brown. Were the chairman sleeping? Chairman. Okay, well, folks, we are now leaving and we will be back tomorrow.